Mm. Ah. Now, after all of that, welcome to News on the Flip Side, people. I hope everybody's having a good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I know all of y'all are listening from all around the world. I was just talking to a friend of mine in South Korea today. We were talking about, world affairs and wonderful stuff and how the universe is coming together and we're having such a peaceful, wonderful world today. And we had a nice 2 hour conversation. It was a lot of fun. It's nice, now the way like all the different apps work, you can talk to anybody around the world. It doesn't cost you anything. It's easy to use. A lot of times I'll do it while I'm driving in the car, which is hard for them to hear because, my car likes to be a little noisy, especially when it's doing about, well, we can't say how fast it's going, but it's just for my own protection. It's
75
just
and a
cruise.
25.
That's right. No, 75 and a 75, 85 and an 85. Well, whatever. We don't have 85s, but close enough, close enough. It's a nice, see, for me, it's weird because it's an hour drive between where I'm at right now in New Orleans and it's mostly water. I mean, I leave here in the morning. I see my lovely, beautiful bayou in my backyard. I walk and get in my car into my house. I drive out, go get on the bridge, cross another beautiful bay, drive about 20 minutes, cross a beautiful Pearl River estuary. Another 15 minutes after that, I'm on Lake Pontchartrain, beautiful lake, just gorgeous. Another 10 minutes, I'm in the swamp all the way up to the city. And then when I get to the city, I'm on a freaking bridge about the size of 2 mountains. This thing is huge. It's taller than any bridge in any building in the city. So you're sitting there going, oh, look at the view I've got. It's a different way of driving to work. It's not like people who have to drive in the grind of the city, or just like all my friends in New York or LA or Tokyo for that matter. Actually, I was talking to Kim G the other day about driving in Tokyo. Jesus, forget it. I'm not ever going there and driving. He said, find a train, find a train. That was his whole conversation. Find a train, find a train. He said, don't try to drive anywhere. He said, some places it looks like it's moving and then you get there and then 45 minutes later, you're like, oh. He said they actually have bathhouses. You can run in and get a massage while you're waiting for your car to move. I was like, get the hell out of here, man.
Sounds like LA traffic.
Well, I didn't know they have on the trams, they have bathhouses. So all the trams that run around and even some of the trains do. I'm like, really? He's like, we like to be comfortable in Japan. I'm like, whatever. I was like, I'm not pointing no fingers and nothing. Seems like a little laxy for people who like to go live in a cubicle when they're done work. I'm confused. I'm just confused. We did a show, I guess, about 6 months ago. No, it was about a year ago on the working people inside of Tokyo, and they have these places. They're really, I call them people matchboxes because they can slide out. You get in them. They got like a basic kitchen, just everything basic. And you can stay there overnight or go take a nap while you're at work. It's not your actual home, mind you. It's just a place close to. I'm telling you, when you look from outside, it looks like a shoebox being taken out and put back in. I'm like, nope, I'm not living there.
It's like cadaver refrigerators in the morgue. They have these little things that you slide out and you climb in, and it's so minimal. And they're made for smaller people because Japanese are a little tinier than us, but not by much. But for us, it's like, it'd be a cramped space. I don't think I could deal with something that small.
Well, that's getting us off to a comforting start.
Yes, it's a good thing. But when you live in LA, that's lots of room out in LA. It's not, for a city, LA kind of, New Orleans kind of remind me of the same because they're cities, but they're kind of spread out all over the place. They're not like your metropolitan DA, like you'd go downtown Chicago or downtown New York. It's not quite the same thing, or downtown. Right. Well, Miami's not really a big city either. It's kind of, pieces here and pieces there. Oh, Jimmy, don't even start. We'll talk about that in the third hour. How's that? Yes. We'll talk about Mr. Ron DeSantis in the third hour. How's that?
Yeah.
Well, they're from California. What do they know about Ron DeSantis? I'm not reading that anymore. Let's just move this over to the side. So, Emily, how have you been lately?
It's good. We've been very busy, but what's new? I mean, we just released a book last week, so we've been focusing on that, just promoting all the new winners for the anthology.
Oh, somebody was me get book 30 through 39. That was interesting. I have them already though. But I posted it to my Facebook page in case anybody was interested. I don't think it was just for me. I just think it was something that came out.
Product shot time.
Ooh, look at that. As you can see, it's right there.
Yeah, gorgeous cover.
It stays there in every radio show I do. It's right there. Even when I'm a guest on somebody else's show, it's still there. Matter of fact.
T-shirt.
Yes, yes. T-shirts. You got to fight for them T-shirts, people. It's like they like mug each other to get these damn. It's like the table comes out, people flying, hairs flying, T-shirts are flying. Nobody knows what size they're getting. No, I'm just kidding.
Version of the events that took place at Riders of the Future.
The reveal is I made a reel out of it. It's been posted for a while. It's just doing better and better and better and better and better. It's in competition with Lola, and that's tough competing with Lola, man, because Lola's cute.
Oh, is she with you tonight?
She's no, she's locked up, so she don't come in and get on Daddy. When I got black, well, you can't see her anyway. But no, I posted a thing in my backyard, and I posted a reel. The actual shot that you sent me of the event, and it's been doing well. It's crossed Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. Y'all are famous on TikTok now. Because I never know what's going to take off. I got to be honest with you. I post some stuff and it's like, whoosh, and some stuff just sits there and like spins. Yeah. And like, what the hell? Why is it doing that? And then some stuff will sit there for a week or two, and all of a sudden it takes off. I seen a show do that the other day. It had 5,000 listeners. I'm like, okay, well. Yeah, it's 5,000, 6,000. That's all it's going to get. Next day, it's about 2 days later, or 3 days later, it pops up a couple of thousand. 2 weeks later, it's up like 300,000. I'm like, where the hell did this come from?
Wow,
that's cool. A lot of people catching up on shows they missed.
Yes. Well, we're going to see a lot of that pretty soon. We're going to see our daytime numbers going down, or I should say, our live numbers going down as we move into summertime, because everybody on this side of the planet is going to be out doing whatever, especially in the United States and Canada, and well, even in Mexico, they're just going to be outside.
Yeah, especially when the schools go close, they're all going on vacation out of town.
Yeah. So some people will listen to us in their cars and stuff, but a lot of people are going to have their families with them, or kids, or getting drunk, or having sex, or something in between all of those things, and so they're going to catch up. Well, it's not the best thing to listen to when you're trying to get somebody in a mood. Let's just be honest about it. So, a glass of wine is fine for when we're doing shows, but there's just a lot going on. So I know, we see our archive numbers go up in the summer and our live numbers go down in the summer, which is kind of weird. But we know why now. So we've been doing radio long enough that we know what it is. And of course, for here, we're in holiday mode pretty much until Christmas now. Pretty much a holiday every, month or so? So we got this, and then we got 4th of July, and then we got, Labor Day, and then we got Halloween, and we got Thanksgiving, and we got Christmas, and then we got New Year's. And I think there's a couple of little things tucked in there, like June 19th and some other holidays tucked in there. So, yes, people, it's one happy holiday of a planet. Well, I should say of a country. So actually, wait, hold on. Let me scroll this back. Come back here, scroll. So, actually, no, all you got to do is go to galaxypress.com. If you're looking to get any of those books you see behind me, that's where you got to go.
Yeah, galaxypress.com and go to shop.
Yes, no, not these. You're never getting these. You can forget those. Those are going in a glass case one of these days. Y'all not getting. They're actually coming with me when the next hurricane comes. I'm just because I'm telling you, there's 4 books up there. You just 4 books up there that you just never know. One of these people might be famous one day. Mm-hmm. And I might have the only weird copy of it because all of mine are signed differently than everybody else's. So, well, I have different tastes in people I want to sign books. No, I mean everybody who's important's in there, but other people are in there as well. No, I never get John and Emily signed. They never sign. They snobs, man.
What?
They are snobs. I mean,
we're not famous.
Let's just clarify. That's dead agent. That little black propaganda that Joe's there spreading around. Joe never comes and asks us at all. We're below his level of saintliness.
I love y'all two. Y'all two, my 2 favorite people there. Actually, in all fairness, they are my 2 favorite people there. Probably the 2 I see the least out of everybody there. Oh no, Jackie. I got other friends there, but they're my favorites. And I just like to watch them go because it's like taking his wind up toys. You just let them go, and every now and then you got to rewind them, but after that they're gone again. But Well, it's just an analogy, but really, I'm serious. They stay busy all the time. It's a good thing, and a lot of good stuff comes out. I can tell you that I've been there 4 times, and I can tell you, or 3 times, and I can tell you now a lot of good stuff comes out of this. And you make a lot of friends, and you meet a lot of people, and you get invited to things like the float and stuff like that you didn't even know about before. It's just weird stuff like that. Again, galaxypress.com. That's all you got to do. No, those are none of those. Every book you see up there on this side is signed. Some of these, what are some of these? This is 31, 30, 32, 33. It's a set I got. I had gotten a couple of them, and then we gave away some of them, and then I kept. So that's actually, I think it goes from 26 to 39. They're easy to get, and they don't cost a lot of money. Just go over there and get them. The other ones I got, I actually gave away to people on here. I even gave away some to family. Well, I got a lot of family that likes to read. Something good. They speed read, though. Man, you give them a book, it's like, oh, you got another one? Mm-hmm. No, I don't mean like speed read. I mean, they've just been reading so long. It's just like, oh, that was interesting. 500 pages is like 5 pages for the rest of us people. I'm just telling you how it works. So anyway, a couple things going on. The book is out. The audio. Wait. We got to go back about the audio book. So I've seen something about this. So let's talk a little bit about this because I only caught a glimpse of this.
I sent it to you.
I didn't say that. You know, I read my email in a week. John's embarrassing me now.
So for the book that I showed, and anybody who's listening can't see it, but it's Writers of the Future, Volume 39. It's a collection of short science fiction and fantasy stories, and it's like the best for the year from new authors judged by top best-selling authors. So this year we did an audio book in the Meskimen family. It's a family of all voice actors. They recorded all the stories that are in the book. They are amazing. People maybe recognize Jim Meskimen. He does Jim Impressions. He was on America's Got Talent as Impressionist. He's on TikTok and YouTube. He has millions of views. So the whole Meskimen family did the audiobook. It's fantastic. Highly recommended. And that's available wherever audiobooks are sold.
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. They had a really good deal on it the other day. I had posted it when I seen it came across my thing. So I actually do read most of my emails when I get a chance. But people, I'm busy right now. Life is just it just gets like that for me. It's like la 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 la, and then it's like it's like la 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 la. It's kind of weird. That's all I can tell you. But contracting work is feast and famine, so we got to take it when it's busy. But I have a good manager who babysits the station, and she's tough. Them Canadian chicks are tough. Look, so real quick. So John's lucky he's an American, so he's safe. But all the rest of these Canadian guys, they lock them in cages up there.
What?
I mean, it's sad, man. We've had this talk. If y'all don't believe me, you can go listen to me talking with Laura Lee. She's also got a Canadian husband.
You're back in your sensational journalism again.
And Amelia and what's her name? Michelle. So you can go listen to these shows where we talk about them locking them in a cage. And Michelle tells me Wayne just likes it. I'm like, really? He's just used to it. So he likes being in a cage. I was like, okay, I can't take it anymore. See, John's just lucky because he's an American, so that kind of shit's illegal in our country. You can't lock your man up in a cage. Yeah, they frown on that stuff. Those conversations are really hilariously funny. They really are.
Have you ever been in Canada, Joe?
They told me I couldn't come back.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm serious.
Someone in a cage.
They told me I couldn't come back. I guess because I was an illegal alien or something. They told me I couldn't come back.
No, you were causing trouble, so they booted you out.
They said, how did you get into Vancouver? I said, I took a boat from Seattle. And they're like, wait, what? I said, yeah, I just got in the boat. Ooh. I said, I've been here about 3 months hanging out and partying with everybody and having a good time. I was on leave, and they said, well, guess what? You got to leave and don't come back. I was like, no, really? They're like, no, don't come back. And back then, there wasn't even a damn whatchamacallit required, and they still told me not to come back. Something about not checking in or some bullshit. I don't know. I think they were just upset that some Navy guy was walking around in uniform and BC for you 3 months and nobody caught it. Man, Canadians are strange people. That's all I can tell you. I've met enough of them that I know now. We have, 8 of them on the station. And see, Emily's a Canadian. Look, see. You see, John's always quiet around it because she'll
And Joe, how are people from New Orleans?
What? What?
You guys here?
Who's here from where? From where?
Now, how are people from New Orleans?
Oh, they're crazy.
That's
They make you look sane. No, don't take it out of context because they really truly
Emily,
make
this
you
is all
look
you need
like
to know about New Orleans. It's one of the few cities. Yeah, and this is how you can tell how crazy they are. It's one of the few cities I know of where you can go to a bar, get an adult beverage, pour it into a plastic cup, and walk around the city with it.
Suck it
Anywhere
away,
else, that's
man.
illegal in the country.
Mhm.
Hey, but that's a good
Savannah,
idea.
Georgia is the second one, and that's a nice city.
We need to get some cups printed out that says People's Choice Awards and walk around the quad with them. So,
How
here,
about
get some
UPRN
nice-
Church of Mavis on the cup?
Yeah, there you go. Church of Mavis. Church of
Promote the
Mavis.
shows.
What do you mean you don't? All right, Jackie. So you've never heard of the People's Choice podcast? All right, listen. All right, get your ass over there and vote. Okay, you can't do it till July. That means we didn't get your vote. You mean you might have been the reason I didn't win last year?
Uh-oh.
Oh man, no, I got runner up. I didn't win that.
Yeah, we
No,
were
I got
one
runner
vote
up.
away, right?
Yeah, runner up like 3 times in a row now. I'm getting tired of being. Look, I'm happy to be runner up. I'm not crying. Yes, I am, but still,
You are definitely crying.
I don't
He's
like
definitely
being
crying.
runner. I want to win. Nobody in this station likes to lose. I'll just be honest with y'all, people. Nobody here likes to lose. And it doesn't matter if we all win, but we need one of us to win. We had 5 shows up last year. 3 made it runner up. Year before we had 5, I think 3 made it runner up, and this year we got 4. Because somebody's show kind of imploded a little bit, and it happens when you do live radio. But really, what is it? July 1st or 4th?
Yeah, July 1st.
Okay, July 1st, you can get over there and vote. 5 million people voted last year, so obviously all 5 million did not vote for me. Okay, all right. I'm gonna be giving away candy for this thing. All right. I got some good chocolate I'm going to give away to y'all. I'm going to get y'all some daiquiri passes. So if you're in Indian City that has daiquiris, you can get you some free daiquiris. I got some books somewhere. I definitely got some books somewhere. I'm going to give away some books. People, I don't like to lose. I don't have any, you know what? I might even call my boy who gives away the lightsabers. See if I can't give away a couple of lightsabers.
Oh, I have to get in on that. Can I call in as a random person to get a lightsaber?
If you get past Michelle, you can. She's got her eye on everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kidding. Yeah, I think I'm kidding people. No, go vote. We want to win. We don't like.
So
Look,
first of all, we want people to listen to our podcasts, listen to our shows, so they can see how cool they are, so they can tell other people about it. So when it comes July 1, they can start voting and know that they're going to vote with some integrity behind it.
That's right. Vote. You're going to get to vote for this show. You're going to get to vote for Writers of the Future. You're going to get to vote for UFO on the Cover, which UFO on the Cover seems to do better than all of them for some reason, And this year, people, we into UFOs this year, so we need a win. I need, y'all want to see a trophy there next year? Look, see, Bob can get retired. We can put a trophy right there in where Bob's head is.
You can put Bob on top of the trophy.
And
Yeah,
what I'm going to do is, if different shows win, I'm going to get a different version of their shows and put it up here as well. Somewhere I got those 2 trophies from winning local. Well, I'll put the copies of them on the website, but they're in here somewhere, buried in the studio. Which Linda told me if I don't do something, which she's going to divorce me.
Ain't gonna happen. So,
That ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. So. Just, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, y'all will hear this. I haven't played it yet. I'm going to play it in a few seconds, a few minutes, but there's going to be a new advertisement running across all the pod shows. Just a friendly reminder. Hey, go vote. Pay attention. Vote. That's all you're going to hear until we find out if we made it or not. And we find out one part, and then if you make runner up, then you get to go into the second part, and then hopefully you win.
Yeah.
It's up to you people for us to win. You know, if you want me to be sad all next year and mopey and whiny and bitchy, just don't let me win. Okay, I'll be all sad face. Like, I don't know why you don't love me. You don't want me to be like that. Really? No, indeed not. I'm already a big pain in the ass, big enough pain in the ass like I am, so we don't want to add to it. It's peopleschoice.com. I'll pull up and put it in the screen in a minute. I think it's peopleschoice.com. I don't
You'll
know.
see it also on the promo that you put up there.
Yeah, so it's no, you can't vote until July 1st, but you can vote after that. I think it's 30 days open voting, and you can just vote. Well, you can probably try to cheat.
Well, I think you can vote once a day.
Well, you can vote once a day. You beat people.
Log in. I think that's it.
Well, you can only vote in each category once, but there's like
Yeah.
40 categories or something like that.
Okay, well,
So voting.
you can go over there and vote in different categories, and just go vote. Yes, hey, look, I'll buy you ice cream in your neighborhood. Okay. But I don't want to send it to you because it'll melt. You know, I got friends that live all over the planet. No, I don't think it matters where you're from. I think you can vote from wherever you are.
Yeah, it's
No,
international.
I don't think so. So if you, well, no, you don't want to ship no chocolate across the deep south right now. It'll melt.
Won't make it.
I'll send you. You know what? I'll have Amelia send me some of that famous Canadian chocolate, and I'll send that out to y'all. How's that? That's good chocolate.
It is.
Yeah, she sent. I had to bitch at her for a whole year. It took me a whole year to lose that 10 pounds I gained off that damn chocolate. I was like,
was it worth it?
We got
it was worth it. It was good. No, it was good chocolate. I mean, I'm not, you know, I actually enjoyed it. Well, she kept telling me, oh, Canadian chocolate tastes different than American. I said, what the hell's the same company? What are you talking about? It's just got a different name, the same company. How can it taste different? It's sure to hell, people, it tastes different. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It's like a different type of chocolate. No, I wouldn't say it goes as far as saying it's European chocolate. It's different. It's just got a different flavor to it. It's a different ratio, milk to sugar or whatever it is. It's like Mexican Cokes. They have a different flavor too.
Yeah. Well, the Mexican Coke still use the original formula, not the new original formula that Coke uses. And they also only exclusively use sugar. So most of the new Cokes use high fructose corn syrup. So it tastes syrupy. I mean, it's like thick. It's gross.
It's very gross.
Denise, yes. Just go. No, look. So from now on, it's all you're going to hear out of my mouth until probably August. Go vote, go vote, go vote. We got a lot of shows coming up. We got a lot of specials coming up. Got a lot of new stuff coming up for Roku. Probably we'll be testing our first pay-for event if the company is that we have this deal with is right sometime at the end of July. Oh yeah. Well, we're gonna do an insane asylum. I'm not going to be there, by the way. So, but one of the groups on the network is going to do an insane asylum up in, I think it's in New York, and it's going to be pay for view. I was just thinking some of the hosts that were going are probably going to scare the bejesus out of this. So it'd be worth watching just for comedy, people. I'm telling y'all, it'd be worth watching just for comedy. I know some of these hosts are going to scare themselves. Where? No, they're in LA. Well, you never really know where they're at. Sometimes their asses could be anywhere.
We're in LA.
I mean, they travel a lot. So sometimes when I'm talking to them, they're in a far, far, far away land somewhere. Yes. Yeah. I meant it. Far, far, far away land. Have y'all ever been to Salt Lake City? It is far, far, far away land. Oh, yes, it is. Mm-hmm. You know what, Kirky? If I go this year, because I don't know if I'm going to go to Salt Lake or not this year, but if I go this year, I promise we'll take a trip down there. We'll take a trip down there. I didn't go last year. I didn't want to bring the Chihuahuas out to Area 51. It could have been bad. You know, Fiona thinks she is like Snoop Dogg or something. So I didn't want to bring her around there. She might jump the fence and go for it. Lola just would have just looked at him like, "Hey, I'm cute. Look at me." She would have been.
The animals might look at your dogs and go, "Hey, those are our cousins. Bring them on board."
No, it's. But no, really, if I go this year, we'll go take a ride down there. I think it's like 3 hours from there. From where I was last time, I was doing a lecture in there 3 years back, and it was about an hour from there. I will tell y'all this: we drove down to Area 51. We hung out for a couple of hours. It says no cameras, no drones, no recording. Everybody, the whole group broke all those rules. Obviously, didn't care. I did get to meet the sheriff of Roswell, of where Little Alien Inn's at. So he said all they do is if you get past the first gate, they arrest you, hold him. He comes and gets you, and it's $750 to get out of jail.
Wow.
So now, he said if you get past gate 2, well,
Shoot on
whatever happens, yeah, you're on your own.
Shot to death if you make it that far.
No telling what's going to happen to you after that. I know Marcus. I did see that when he, the guy who flew in and got out, he got lucky. He didn't see anything. Well, just because you break into it doesn't mean you're going to see anything. I mean, most of the time you're not going to see anything outside, especially in the daytime. Nah, the Russians are
keep
looking.
that stuff locked up and set for certain days of the week and month.
Yeah, they have their programs, and a lot of that stuff's done underground, so they don't do a lot of testing there. In this book, you mean this one? Yeah, this one. Yeah. So when you get in here, before we get back to the People's Choice Awards, hold on, let me see if I can find it. This story, this shit just cracks me up. The one about the where'd it go?
The tax man.
Death in the
Yeah,
tax.
cracks me up. Yes, it just cracks me up.
That's a funny
So,
story.
I was looking for the picture because he kind of looks like a cross between a ninja, not a ninja.
Frank in the story.
There you go. John's got it right there. So look at this guy.
Yeah,
So-
it's like a druid or a wizard and an IRS man.
It's an IRS auditor, and he's got the.
Oh, and the Grim Reaper. Okay, I see. Now it's a side. I see that.
Yeah. So I don't want to give the story away. So, but it's kind of funny. It's kind of weird.
It kind of looks like Joe a little bit there under the cloak.
Yeah, they probably were looking at me when they did it.
The funny
Don't
story.
give these
Really
people any
clever.
ideas. It was a very clever story. It was. It's actually, guys, y'all can go through them. They're not really too long. Most of them are pretty easy reads. So now I know what you're talking about, John. No, it's the one where I'm listening to Mission Earth at. Okay, now I know what you're talking about.
If
Yeah.
anybody wants to meet the authors from this volume, we're going to be doing a live Zoom event. You have to sign up for the Writers of the Future newsletter if you go to writersofthefuture.com, and you'll get an email inviting you to join a Zoom with all the authors.
Get out there and meet some authors, people. Get out and meet. First, get out and contribute. Yes, yes. Actually, Jackie, you can send anytime. Anytime. Writersofthefuture.com. You can submit anytime.
Yep.
I know. Unfortunately, I do know these. I know these as well as I know my own websites. Unfortunately, I've said them so many times they're in my head. Mm-hmm.
We
That's
got a
Galaxy
gentleman from
Press.
Uruguay listening in on the Facebook chat.
Well, hello, everybody out there in Facebook. How y'all doing out there? It's so we had a bunch of strangos yesterday listening on LinkedIn. They were how can I say this politely? Insane, but fun, but fun. I mean, but fun. No, so those no, I don't know. Do y'all sell those T-shirts?
I think if you go to galaxypress.com, and I think if you buy Writers of the Future books over $50, then you get a T-shirt. I'm pretty sure that's
yes, because I was going to say, I thought the only way you could get them is if you were there. And then, like I said before, you had to fight for them. It was bad.
Now you just have to buy a package. You can get one.
Yeah.
Yes. Emily had a club, people.
No, I didn't. I wasn't
Club.
there when you were handed out.
It was a club. I mean, she was like, "Get on there!"
Journalist.
It was scary. I was like, this little old me, don't hit me. I just want a T-shirt. Actually, I was quite happy. I was in a smaller one. So I was automatically happy. Oh shit! It's a lot of. I can tell you, people, is win and you'll get the experience. It's a lot of fun. It's a little bit nerve-wracking, but it's a lot of fun.
But the winners, they did so well. Everyone gets flown out to Hollywood, and all the winners, they were amazing because you go on stage in like a big Oscars type event, and
It's a damn good event too.
Who are usually recluse. They're usually like sort of intimidated easily, just to go in their corner and write or draw.
This group this year was a little quieter than past groups.
But they were amazing on stage.
They were all good on stage. They were. So when I was talking with Dave, I said, so they called you the second time. I said, what were you thinking, man? He said, I was like, no, not really. He was saying, can I sit down for a minute and rewrite what I'm going to say? He said, I don't know what the hell was I going to say. I said, I don't know, man. You did pretty good, though. So don't worry about it. He did a good interview. And Carmen told me somebody else was coming on just recently. I forgot who it was. guys, but again, if you don't submit, you can't win. And if you can't win, you don't get out to go out there and meet everybody. It's a whirlwind. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was like, whoosh. It's a fun whirlwind. It's not a scary whirlwind. I hate because I said that sometimes. I don't want to give you the wrong idea. It's fun. I talked to everybody out there. This year I didn't get as many audio as I got verbal interviews, but still, everybody has fun. Like I said, it's a little nerve wracking, but it's a lot of fun. Plus, you get to meet all kind of people. I mean,
even if you say that it's kind of a whirlwind, I mean, it seems it's like a convention kind of atmosphere. And if you've ever been to a science fiction convention, Star Trek, Comic-Con, whatever, those started in the 70s, early 70s, late 60s as book conventions. And then they started to lose interest. People lost interest in the actual book conventions. And then someone that was big in Star Trek up in New York decided, let's take over one of these book conventions, rename it, and that started the whole craze with the Comic-Con and the Star Trek and Star Wars conventions.
That's a lot of money these days.
Yeah, it's $1 billion a year business. I mean, what does Dragon Con bring in? It's several $100 million a year or something like that. It's a big convention. It's the largest one on this side of the planet, at least.
Well, you're in Pennsylvania. You're only a hop, skip, and jump away from Atlanta.
I've been to Dragon Con several times, actually.
Are you going to be there this year, Jay? Are you going to be at Dragon Con this year?
I don't think I'll be able to make it. If I am able to, I would love to go down, but it's been several years since I've been there, and it's since changed since I went down. But there's a couple up near me. There's one in Baltimore called Shore Leave. There's another one called Farpoint that's also over there, and they're Star Trek based, but they're overrun with stormtroopers, shall we say.
That'd be fun.
Jesse, there it is. There you go, Jesse. I told you I'd give you a free plug tonight. Fat Boys Pizza. They got good pizza, man. That's all I can tell you. I got good pizza.
Well,
they're all in the South. It's no, because I know they're going to be there. I'm going to be there. I know a couple of other friends and some other people from the station that are going to be there. I think Sean said he wants to come down. A couple of our PA hosts said they want to come down, so we'll see who shows up. And then one of our New York hosts said they want to come down. So you never know who's going to show up and who's not. Last year, I didn't see a bunch of our hosts, but I did see a bunch of people I knew just from different random places. The weirdest thing I had was I ran into a couple of, it's weird for me because, I can walk around, nobody knows who the hell I am. And then all of a sudden somebody knows who the hell I am. I'm like, wait a minute. No, because somebody was trying to talk me into interviewing in both places. Somebody's trying to talk me into interviewing those cosplayers. And I'm like, guys, I don't know anything about this. I said, I've seen them on TV here and there and there and here. I said, but I wouldn't even know a question to ask them. How do you like your elf ears? Do you like your little piggy tail? No, see, I'd have got in trouble right off the bat, man. Right off the bat, I would have got in trouble. So I was thinking, man.
So, Jay, who's your co-host over there? I've seen some fur.
This is baby Huey. He's about a 9-week-old kitten. We found him in the front of my neighbor's house in the street on Sunday, and he wouldn't go back with his mom and sisters, so we kept him, and he's going to stick around for hopefully the long term. But he's just a little tiny thing. I mean, he's just
so cute.
Fits in my hand, and he was sleeping in my hand the whole time. He just woke up, and he wants to get down. So,
well, that's cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, he's black with a little bit of gray tiger striping along the side, so he's going to be a beautiful cat when he gets bigger.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got to try to figure out a way to get his mom and sisters, or they're under the porch of my neighbor's house next door. So we're talking to the Humane Society to see if we can't get them captured and find their forever homes.
Nice.
Yeah,
and he's on the floor and active, so we'll let him roll around.
He said, I need a break. Oh, so guys, we're going to queue up this new ad. This is going to be the one you're going to be seeing. This and maybe a couple other ones you might see running across over the next 2 months for sure. So they'll be active. So let me cue this up right quick. Bloop. And let's go over here and click on bloop.
It's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcast. There are 4 amazing shows I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards, the longest-running premier awards event in the podcasting space, open to shows worldwide. Vote at podcastawards.com to nominate the following shows. Writers and Illustrators of the Future podcast in 3 categories: education, storyteller drama, and art. For 4 years, the Writers and Illustrators of the Future podcast has provided advice and tips from international best-selling authors, world-class artists, contest judges and winners, and industry professionals. It is dedicated to the future of storytelling and art by showing that it is never too late to start, and those who make it are those who never give up.
News on the Flip Side, in the category of politics and news. News on the Flip Side is a much different news and political program, which is not deemed as opinion news. Listen as Joe Montaldo brings to you just the facts from trusted sources, which will allow you, the people, to make up your own minds on the various stories being reported on.
UFO Undercover in the category of entertainment. UFO Undercover brings you some of the most revealing and current research that is being done with respect to alien abductions and contact. Host Joe Montaldo has been an abduction researcher for over 35 years and is uniquely qualified to bring you live interviews with some of the most well-known researchers in ufology.
The Outer Realm in the category of Best Female Hosted Podcast. The Outer Realm is a very popular show hosted by Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano, which boasts millions of listeners each week who are well known for and have been complimented on their very laid-back, roundtable style of interviewing. Together, this dynamic duo brings you the best of the best with guests from around the world who are well-versed within their respective fields of ufology, paranormal, esoteric, and other areas of high strangeness and more.
Go to podcastawards.com to vote for these 4 shows and any others you enjoy listening to. That's podcastawards.com.
Dun, 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 dun.
So everybody just go to podcastawards.com and then leave that URL open for the next month so that you're ready to vote as soon as it opens up.
That's right. Keep it up. All right,
But anyway, what I'm interested in, because when Emily and I recorded that a few days ago, I just wanted to make sure that there's nothing else that you're like, well, you should have done this. Like, should we put a picture of Joe in there along with the logo for the 2 shows? Put my picture in there along with the podcast for the Rise of the Future. We got Amelia and Michelle in there, but is there anything else that would make it for you more enticing and make it easier for other people not familiar to want to check it out? I'd be interested in any feedback on this.
Well, guys, if y'all want to drop feedback in on any of the chat channels or on the messenger, or if you're just scared to do that, you can always write to me at icar@cox.net. Yes, I know I said that kind of coon-assy, so icar@cox.net.
Or you could say that the hosts are glaringly handsome.
Yes, the hosts are very sexy. What can I say? You know, we have a very no, Jack. No, that's you don't understand how it works. Men get sexier as they get older. No, you see, yes. So we start out, really hot, and then we get handsome, and then we get sexy. Well, obviously, you're still a youngster, so you don't have to worry about it yet. You'll learn as you get older. That's all I can tell you. It's no, and it's like when people give me shit about my beard, because usually it's going to be like this. This is its natural colors, and but anytime I'm doing TV or traveling or anything that's going to be on video a lot, it gets dyed, because if it don't, I get bitched at nonstop. I can't see your face. Where's your face? It's like right here. It's right here. Right here. I'm gonna get some arrows. I'm gonna get some arrows put in the video. Yes. Like this. Oh, I don't know. Actually, I've been thinking about shaving it off lately, but everybody's going to freak out when I do.
Yeah, you'll look totally different.
Oh, I look totally different. Trust me.
Yeah, you look too much more like me, so just leave it the way it is.
I'll look. And well, in all honesty, I shouldn't even say this, but I get shaved off about every 8 or 9 years. I get and then it grows back pretty fast. Yeah, maybe if I get really, really like this skinny, I might do that. No, I like having a beard. Even when I was skinny, I had a beard. When I was in the service, I had a beard. I just like the way it looks.
Shave it off. The dogs are going to bark at you and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they won't recognize you.
They'll be like, "Who the hell is that?"
Intruder!
And well, wait a minute, Jimmy. You're gonna? Oh, that's fine. You want to pay for media contacts? Feel free. It's $671. I already went and had them checked out. I have no problem. There's a donation page on the website. Feel free to drop it in there. I'm serious. I actually know who did that. They're doing a documentary. I mean, that was one of the things that came up. Would I be willing to wear contacts? It's one of the things. No, you notice when I'm doing an interview, you can't see right now. See, that's what my head always looks like when I'm doing interviews. When I'm here, it's like this because there's nothing to get the glare off the top of my head. And I'm not going to wear makeup, so yeah. But anytime you see me doing real interviews, you won't see the glasses on my head. It's just one of them things. You won't see these either. So there's usually no glasses. I don't tell Prometheus Entertainment or Johnson Entertainment what the hell they can do. They're these big companies. Oh yeah, yeah, I did Maurice Entertainment. I did some stuff with them too, out of New York. Yeah, it was fun. Well, these guys are party hounds. Oh God, yeah, they're traveling all over, running all over there nonstop. Prometheus. I worked with 3 different Prometheus crews. One in New York, one in DC, and one in California. Yeah, they were a blast. They were a blast. And they knew where all the good spots were, which was amazing. It's like, where we going? Yeah, let's go here and eat. Yeah, let's go here and get something to drink.
Yeah, if you ever want to find out where the good bars and the good restaurants are, you ask a journalist.
I will tell y'all a secret. If you want to just go listen to politicians, I mean big politicians, just bullshit, go sit at the bar at the Mandarin Hotel. And you'll be amazed how many big name politicians you see sitting at the bar are just bullshitting each other. Yeah, I'm a nobody, so I just walked away. I said, let me go up to the hotel room. So let's just get away from here before I get in trouble. Well, because I'll start asking questions. I'll hear something, I'll be eavesdropping. Say, hey, excuse me, can I ask you something? Did you really just say what I think you said? It's best I stay away from stuff like that. Yes. You can. Well, I'll play it again before we leave, but it's. Wait, what? Whose face you want to see? You just said threw up there. Let me see a face. Okay, you see 4 faces right here. Look. See, dun, 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 dun. I feel like voguing it out.
Yeah, right. That's what I can't do that Vogue thing. That's a Madonna deal.
You love you some Madonna. My stepdaughter did.
Look, she's got some pretty good songs out there. I don't particularly care for the way her wild lifestyle is, but she's a good singer.
It's podcastersawards.com. Yes, just go over there. Last year I think you did have to sign up, so you might have to go over there and sign up. So if you haven't signed up, go over and sign up.
Yeah, you might have to make an account.
Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah, so go sign up. No, they're not going to spam you or nothing like that. They don't do stuff like that.
No, they don't.
Oh, speaking of, I'm glad that came up. So Jackie O asked me this the other day. If you're listening, dude, they do have sponsorships there. So you can sponsor. I don't know if you can have a podcast and sponsor. You probably can, but so yeah, they have sponsorships starting from I think $1,500 up to about $5,000, and they give you some pretty good adage space in a couple of different places on their sites.
Where are you talking about?
On podcastawards.com. They have they have a sponsorship thing. They also have a donation page too, but they have a sponsorship thing here. Yeah, you can go sponsor. You can put them on your site, and they'll put you on their site, and the nice ones run about $2,500. Yeah. Yeah. Well, sure. If you want to sponsor us, feel free. You got my permission to put our stuff up there. I don't mind. Just use the green banner for now, the one that you see behind us. Yeah, you can find it on. It's still on the old site, so you can find it there. It's not going to be on a new site. Sorry, guys. It's not part of the new site. It's a new banner set, new layout, new everything. Well, no, you can get to the site. It's just you got to add Homestead to the original site name because I haven't finished transferring it yet. Podcastawards.com. Yes, put that in save it right now. Whether you're on Google, Yahoo, Java, whoever the hell you are on, save it. Put it on your phone. Save it everywhere. Hey, look, if you think you can vote more than once, I'm all for cheating. Let's go. Click, 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 click. No hacking.
This one fair and square, Joe.
No hacking. Shh, no hacking. I know how some of you listen to these shows are. No hacking.
Also, in this day and age, a lot of people have more than one email. So if you have more than one email, you can probably, if you can only vote once, it would be once per email. Which technically isn't cheating, but it kind of sort of is.
Well, most
Yeah.
places know your IP address now, so you might not be able to
Yeah.
do that either. It's no, people. I'm just teasing. Just go vote, though. Don't hesitate. When it comes time, go vote. You're going to hear us all month long. John and Emily will be back somewhere in July to talk about it again, just to get people interested in the go vote, because we want to win. Well, I got a couple of appearances on other networks coming up, so I'll be talking about it as well there. And then, you mean Coast? I tell you what. You write to Lisa Lyon, and because I don't really have anything that I want to talk about on Coast right now. So you write to him and get him just to bring me on for what did I used to call it? Oh, damn. There used to be a name for it. But anyway, my very first show I ever did with them was just about different. It was just a case show. We went case to case to case to case to case through ufology and abduction all the way through. And that was a really good show. You should go listen to it. But because right now I just don't have anything that I'm not lecturing for those kind of things right now. It's other stuff I'm doing right now. Half of it's politics and the other half is just research that we've done over the last decade or so.
Not to mention you're coming into your construction business crazy zone.
Yes, it's summertime. So, but no, you feel free. And I mean, anybody wants to sponsor us in any ways or help with anything, or, want to help publicize, People's Choice Awards, feel free. It's People's Choice Awards. You got to remember, to add the podcaster in there, though.
And if you want to help us right now, well, not us, but the new authors, you can go out and buy this book, Writers of the Future, Volume 39.
That's right. We've got 12 new writers, 12 new artists right now. We're trying to help launch their careers. And this is the main way that they've got a bestseller book. In that,
y'all need to make me like a 20-second, 30-second video clip, or it could even be, I guess, a written one with the address and all that, so I can run it across all of the FBs and Instagrams and LinkedIn, and because we got a lot of people just following blindly in different places, so it'd be nice to send it out to them.
Well, I've got 4 videos that we've already made as well. I just wanted to double check this one here, make sure there's nothing we need to change before I finalize.
Well, only complaint I got is
sorry, what were you talking? Were you talking about the podcast awards or about the book?
I think we were talking about both, actually. But you did get one complaint about the commercial. Sarah writes in from California. Sarah, that's not you, Sarah, right?
No,
because I know you wouldn't do that because you scared of Emily. That's why.
Oh.
No, really, what was it? She said she thought the audio was a little loud over y'all's voices.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, I can drop it.
Oh, you mean Don? Why do you want to see John and our sexy self in the thing? Really, that's your words, not mine. So I'm telling you, neither one of us swing like that, man. Unless John's hiding something from me, he might be. You never know. I mean, he is from LA, but still, I'm not thinking. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. Mm-mm. So Don said he wanted pictures of us up, you and I, and I was like, so I just asked why, and he just said that we're both very sexy, handsome, manly men.
And me and Emily must be chopped liver. That's nice. Thanks.
No,
John.
this is about for the promo. This is about for the promo. People, just because it's live, I should proofread shit before I read it. You'd think after 20 years in radio, I would actually read it before I read it. Oh, no. And don't forget, guys and girls, you can always catch us on any of the YouTube or Instagram, or of course, you're watching us on Roku right now. I know a lot of people have been watching us, and more people have been watching us on Roku. Glad to see our average listening time's over an hour there, so that's nice to see. While I'm thinking about this, I remember Christian had written to us. Christian, let me think of her last name. Damn, it's going to go right out of my head. Christian, if you listen, I did actually remember your question. So for the Roku thing, you're not going to get all of the shows. You're only getting the shows. It's like you'll see John's show in there. You'll see my show in there. You'll see Church of Mavis on there. You'll see Horsefly Chronicles will be on there. The Allens and Gate, they'll be on there. The Spirits on there, and Barn Barn, what's his name? Barn. He's actually on there. So those shows you'll see all the time on there. And occasionally I'll drop somebody in that's working with us, or somebody might be best show of the month or something, so they might get a freebie month or something like that. But yeah, Roku's a paid thing, guys. It's not part of the regular station lineup. Yeah, so all right, you got to be special to be on Roku. We thought about that when I talked to Michelle originally. We thought about making it a minimum of 750,000 listeners to be on Roku, but it wouldn't be fair to some of the upcoming shows that have potential of getting there. What do you mean, the shows right here? No, they're all over that. It's not going to matter. No, John show's over that. Church of Mavis is over that. And this show's over that. So it wouldn't really matter for these. But you do get shows that want to get on. So speaking of that, on a completely side note here, I got sidetracked for a second. So Wyoming only has 500,000 people in it. You have to have 650,000 people to have a congressman. Did y'all know that? I'm thinking, wait, how are these guys representative if they don't have enough people? They had to make a special position for Wyoming guys. They have nobody lives there. And you know what? They will pay you to come live in parts of Wyoming. So y'all should check it out.
Same with Alaska, too. $5,000 a year.
You know, the one I was surprised me is some of them European countries paying 60,000, 80,000 EUs to come. Yeah, you come, they pay you that, and then they give you a house. And man, there's one in Switzerland. And I was like, shit, if it didn't snow so much, I might move there.
Yeah, no kidding.
It was too funny. So right here, galaxypress.com. See this one right here. Let's move this one out the way. This is a whole different book. It has nothing to do with John. This is right here, galaxypress.com. It's real easy, galaxypress.com. I'm not speaking too fast for y'all. Most of y'all should already have this, and you think, go. I know it's no holidays and nothing, but this is the new one, so you want to get it now. Yes. Mm-hmm. They got good prices on it, so you want to get it now. And there are other books that'll be coming up there pretty soon because I got other guests into me and stuff, so y'all get to see those as well. And some of the people who's from this book will actually have books coming in that will be actually up there as well. So, and there's one from, was it last year before last winter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's one up there right now. Wolves will be up there pretty soon. Lazarus will be up there pretty soon. I got a couple other besides that I've talked to that will all have books sitting up there. Eventually, I'll have to just make it this year's winners and last year's winners.
You have to get a new bookshelf.
Well, actually, I'm getting ready to rearrange the studio, so it probably will. I want to be able to move the camera further this way back and make this a little bit longer so I can include more stuff on it. Well, there's a lot of good books up there, guys. Actually, I've read from 30 all the way through now to 39, which makes my brain a jumble because my brain's just a mess anyway. A lot of good stories in there. I got some ones that stick in my head, some that don't. And then, no, I have not run. You mean Darkness? No, I haven't read that one. I haven't. And I haven't read this one either, for that matter. No,
well, the podcast that's going up right now is that book there, and the one that on the one that's up there. That's with Steve Pentanzas.
Yeah, with Steve Pentanzas. Yeah,
that's the one that's going up this week. That's one.
Oh, so there you go.
I'm going to be sending it to you.
Yeah, so y'all be able to listen to that and take a look, see if you want to get it. What do you mean hard copies? I don't know. I've never asked. I mean, can they get? You can't get any of these in hard copies, can you?
Hardcover?
Hardcover. I'm sorry, I didn't say hard
No,
copy.
they're not hardcover.
They're paperbacks.
I didn't think so. And well, no, Mark. Yeah, I do like hardcovers when I can get them, but you can't always get them. It's oh no. So John sent me a link. So I've been listening to Mission Earth, and I still got to get past this cheesy bastard. But anyway, we're not getting into that. It's been great so far. It's like I said, started out a little bit slow. Now I'm in like halfway through the middle of, I guess it's part 2. How many parts is this? Like 10 and 8. Yeah. But,
10 books.
Well, so what I do a lot of times, guys, is it's audio. So I can sit there and I can turn it on when I'm in the middle of doing something, as long as somebody's not in the house or nobody's in the studio or what the hell was that? Or, yeah, well, a lot of times if people see me online, I'll start getting text. That's why I go dark most of the time. Yeah, well, because I like to listen and I'll be doing archives or posting stuff, getting things set up for the next day. And it's just an easy listen for me. And the more you listen to it, the more you get into it. There's a lot of characters in this and a lot of different directions. I don't know if they can't get it yet, can they? Or can they get it?
The paperback?
No, Mission Earth. Can they get the audio?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Na 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 na.
The books online, but the audiobooks not available unabridged yet.
Well, I'm gonna have to say now. I might be a little bit further than halfway through too. So eventually, I'm gonna have to give a review on this. I gotta say, as I get into this, it gets better and better and better. And the sound effects so far have been impeccable. The voices have been good. The weird little things in the background. There's a lot of stuff that the first 8 or 9, whatever you call them, chapters I was going through, I didn't really notice. But as I got into them, I started realizing there was way more sounds in the background than I realized. So I started paying deeper attention to it instead of just listening, just listening to what was the story. I started listening. So that's all I can tell y'all guys until they release it to y'all. And when I get finished with it, I'm going to come online with John and we're going to talk about it. And so just so we can tease y'all, that's all.
There we go.
We can tease y'all.
I don't know if you're able to play or not, because I sent you the trailer to the book trailer to volume 39.
Let me see if I got it in here. Let's go.
The YouTube link.
There it is right there. I think that's it right there. Okay, let's grab it out of here. Come to daddy. Come to daddy. Ouch, 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 ouch. Hush, hush. Damn, calm down, Link. Damn, Link, calm down. What the hell was that? All right, let's try that again. I like to make myself death. Let's do it like this. And no, that's not right. For some reason, this StreamYard only likes Google. It's not a big fan of Microsoft. Yeah, I don't know why, but it's just not. All right, stay. Okay. All right, put it up there. Aha. Okay, let's just put the whole thing on. Oh.
So there you go.
All right,
Very
now
cool.
everybody can get it, right?
Very cool. I think it's a great video for the book.
Yeah, I do too. Actually, sorry, Christian was talking in my ear there for a minute. I was bringing up the promo again, and Christian decided she needed to tell me how life was and how things were on YouTube. What the hell is that? It's no, that was great actually. I was when it first came up, I wasn't sure, and then it started going. I was like, all right, there we go. Okay, there we go. Stop. It's like talking to Lola in the morning when she won't stop looking at my face. I mean, it's thank God her tongue is only this big. That's all I can say. It's a massive job, because I have a big face. She's like, "Hey, it's time to get up." I'm like, "No." So, in case I don't have Chihuahuas, people, Fiona likes to get up around 9:30 if her daddy's sleeping late and sneeze a couple of times. It's more like a snort, like a pig. It's like, "Come on, Dad, it's time to get up." And then, if I don't move, she'll start this little chirp like a little bird. I'm like, "What the hell, dog?" And then it'll get louder and louder until it becomes a bark, like, "Get the hell up." And if that don't work, all of a sudden I feel her little 11-pound self on my chest with her tongue up my nose. It is time to get up. There is no ignoring her. It is time to get up. And if that's not enough, here comes little Lola. "I'm going to help out, Dad." I'm like, oh my God. So yes. So people, it's like a
one's
in
licking
shower.
the inside of your nose, the other one's nibbling on your earlobe.
So basically, it's get up, get a wash rag, and do your whole face after your dogs get through with you. People, that's what happened when y'all own Chihuahuas. Can I tell y'all? Actually, Kimberly, I will ask. So where are y'all two headed off next?
Comic-Con San Diego is coming up.
Ooh, San Diego. That was one of my favorite cities. I had a lot of fun in San Diego. I can't say why in case people are up, but I had a lot of fun in San Diego. That's all I can tell you.
Just
I was
watch out
stationed
when
there.
Anna wins.
I was that was my first duty assignment. Well, I went to boot camp, and then it was my first duty assignment. I was a HARP guy. I don't know if y'all know what HARP is.
High altitude reconnaissance program.
No, not that kind of HARP. I was a recruiter basically, and so I helped to recruit the guys that I had was a natural. So, and that's why I was getting ready to go for. I had done a month of special forces training, and I was waiting to get transferred. So he said, "We're going to put you on HARP duty." I'm like, "What the hell is HARP duty?" "Oh, we want you to recruit."
Recruiting people.
And I was all gung ho Navy, so I was recruiting people like the guys like, "You're going to set a record, man. We never had a recruiter like you before." I was like, "Well, what the hell?" I enjoyed the service. I'm not going to lie, people. I enjoyed it. I didn't want to be there for 20 years, mind you, but I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun and I learned a lot of stuff. I still use some of the stuff even today I learned. And then I know secrets that y'all don't know. How's that? Even all these decades later, I still know secrets that y'all don't know. I know. I even know secrets that Elon Musk don't know. How you like that?
And can you tell the audience what Navy stands for?
Yeah, nutcases. Oh, wait. Did I say that out loud? Shit. Sorry. I didn't mean to say that out loud.
You said it wrong, but out loud. It's never again volunteer yourself.
Oh,
NAVY.
I had a good time though. I mean, I was in San Diego for a while. I had to go. They transferred me out to Paris Isle for a little while, and then I went over outside of Norfolk for training. And then when I decided I want to kill anybody, which was about 18 months in, they sent me to Memphis, Tennessee for advanced avionics and electronics training. I was learning how to every piece of electronics the Navy had. My ass wasn't touched it. It's I know isn't that makes you feel so good, doesn't it? Really, I was like 19, 20 years old. I'm like, come on. Even I knew I shouldn't be touching this $1 billion piece of equipment, but hey, they didn't care. They wanted me touching it, and I was so good. They wanted me all over the ship. That's why I get such a high clearance. It's people. It was an experience. Is all I can tell you. Getting to fly in jets, getting to go to the bombing derbies, getting to be out at sea. It's just an experience. It's a whole thing, and you either like it or you don't. There's no in between. You either can handle being out there.
What was the catchphrase in the 80s? Navy, it's not just an adventure. Something like that.
We can't say the rest of it on air. That's true, Jack. If you're a Marine and Marines, I'm not trying to pick on y'all tonight, but if you're a Marine, your check does say United States Navy on it. It does not say U.S. Marine Corps. You work for the Navy. Yes. Don't ever fool yourself, Marines. you are a part of the USS Navy. The Navy, I'm sorry, not the USS Navy, but the Navy.
And so is the Coast Guard during wartime.
Yes, so is the Coast Guard. And even some of our reserves. I mean, it's just, Navy's big. Got a lot of people in it.
It's huge. It's the biggest.
But more, we got in more fights in bars and other places because of that one conversation and anything else. Marines did not want to hear they got paid by the Navy. And if you told them that in a bar, especially after everybody's been drinking all night, it was bad.
Or if you rag on that they're catching rides on your boats, they don't like that either. But
the Navy got so good at this because so many clubs got wrecked that they actually made a fee. So everybody had to pay a fee. Every person in the bar who was military, whether you got in a fight or not, had to pay a fee. So that way it always took care of the damages, and nobody had to go to jail that way. What can I say? It was weird. It was weird. What you got, Glenn? Who? Doctor Who? What's that got to do with our conversation? No, you can't write a story about Doctor Who and submit it. No. That's perjury, man. I mean, it's not whatever the hell they call it. It's not perjury. Sorry. Perjury. Sorry. Wrong word. As soon as I said it, I knew I said the wrong word. Oh, shit. Well, perjury means when you're lying about
like
somebody.
Original content.
Yeah, like original.
It's
you could write about Doctor Who's brother,
Dr. Steven. I mean, it's
I read a story about Dr. Joe.
Oh no, let's not involve me in any shape, form, or fashion. No, they told me 17,000 words. That's maximum.
Yep.
When they say that, so the first time, actually, Emily told me this first time, 17,000 words. I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, this is like 3 novels. Come on, people, I didn't know nothing about writing at the time. So I remember when the first year or the second year I was out there, I wrote 12,000. I'm like, well, shit, no wonder they said 17. I ain't shit. I was like,
it's up to 17,000. The average is like 8 to 10,000.
Yeah, see, it's a nice short story, easy to read. No, 10,000 words sounds like a lot, but it really is, especially when you get to reading. It really isn't a lot of words.
Right.
It reads really fast. Well, put it this way. Hold on a second. Let me change the earbuds. So when I read them on the plane, I've read 2 of them on the plane for my second reading. I can read it takes 3 hours to get from New Orleans to LA, about 3.5 hours. I can read the whole book easily in that 3.5 hours. So, and I'm not super reader, so unless I cheat. Well, no, I had speed reading courses when I was young, but you don't use speed reading stuff for this. You miss out too much of the story when you speed read them. You're skipping too many words. That's what speed reading is. If you don't know it,
speed reading is basically skimming a book. You usually read the first and last sentence of each paragraph, and you just flip through it.
It's I don't know why I took it. I was 25. It's just something to do. Yes, I still don't know why I took it. Linda's the reader, not me. I remember Anne Rice's books. So I come home with this big hardcover Anne Rice books, this freaking thick. I said, "Okay, baby, I'll see you in a week." She said, "What?" Next day, she said, "I need another book." I'm like, "What? Your books ain't cheap either, people." I was like, "You need another one." She's like, "I need another book."
A big hardback's like $35.
Well, she read everything in the first library, which was around 2,000 books, and in the second library, she had read everything in there, which is 4,000. So she's a reading freak. I mean, I told her she should have been an editor when she was young. I said, "You missed out, girl. You missed your calling." I say, because she gets a book, and she'll sit and she'll read, boom, 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 boom. She's just reading, and then she'll get up, get a drink, get a cup of coffee, go sit back down, go back to reading, get a snack, and then boom, next thing you know, the book's done. And she always gets this sad face when she's done with it, like, oh, even if it was a good book, she's kind of like, oh man, I'm like, so she's a tactile reader, Johnny. Yes, I knew right when you said that what you were talking about. She prefers the tactile sensation of a book, even though I've recently talked to her about some ebooks, and maybe she's never going to do audiobooks now, but she will probably do some ebooks if it's books she can't get easily. She'll probably do those. She likes to read. Matter of fact, she just told me yesterday I got to go get her new glasses so she can read more. She's the boss. Well, I'm not going to tell her no.
So then, Joe, before we have to sign off here. So what do I have to change on these promos? I need to drop.
I like the promo just the way it is. When what's her name said it was a little loud, and somebody right underneath her said it was a little loud, but I didn't think it was that loud. Now, I also had my audio adjusted via my earbud, so I didn't find. You know what? Hold on, let's play it again because I didn't think it was that loud.
It didn't seem loud through my computer speakers, but
Yeah. So is it queued in the queue? Yeah, it's in the queue. So let me pop it in here.
It's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcast. There are 4 amazing shows I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards, the longest-running premier awards event.
Hey guys, if y'all
podcasting
listening, why don't you
space, open
turn
to
down your
shows
earbuds and
worldwide.
see if that's what it was?
Vote at podcastawards.com to nominate the following shows. Writers and Illustrators of the Future
I think it's
podcast
perfect.
in 3 categories.
yeah, the volume levels are good.
Storyteller drama.
I open it, close
And
it with higher, then I drop
For
it
4
down.
years, the Writers and Illustrators of the Future podcast has provided advice and tips from international best-selling authors, world-class artists, contest judges and winners, and industry professionals. It is dedicated to the future of storytelling and art by showing that it is never too late to start, and those who make it are those who never give up.
News on the Flip Side, in the category of politics and news. News on the Flip Side is a much different news and political program, which is not deemed as opinion news. Listen as Joe Montaldo brings to you just the facts from trusted sources, which will allow you, the people, to make up your own minds on the various stories being reported on.
UFO Undercover in the category of entertainment. UFO Undercover brings you some of the most revealing and current research that is being done with respect to alien abductions and contact. Host Joe Montaldo has been an abduction researcher for over 35 years and is uniquely qualified to bring you live interviews with some of the most well-known researchers in ufology.
The Outer Realm, in the category of Best Female Hosted Podcast. The Outer Realm is a very popular show hosted by Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano, which boasts millions of listeners each week who are well known for and have been complimented on their very laid-back, roundtable style of interviewing. Together, this dynamic duo brings you the best of the best with guests from around the world who are well-versed within their respective fields of ufology, paranormal, esoteric, and other areas of high strangeness and more.
Go to podcastawards.com to vote for these 4 shows and any others you enjoy listening to. That's podcastawards.com.
Yeah, I don't think the audio is too loud. It might even trail off a little there at the end, but it seemed like you had a pretty even level all the way through.
Yeah, I didn't have any problem with the audio at all. I thought it was fine. It's I wouldn't even worry about that. It's look, whoever was saying that earlier, try your volume control because I mean you might have just had it set up too loud.
Some of those headphones and earbuds can be a little louder than what a normal speaker would produce.
What
Okay.
half a set of books you got there?
Okay, Maurice. Now these are the 4 that I've got to meet the writers and illustrators of. All 4 of these right here. I've read all 4 of these more than once. There's a lot of good stories in these. There's a lot of good stories in all these, but we're just talking about these. But you wanted to know which books that I was currently present for where I met everybody. It was these right here. Now, the first 2, 36 and 37, was an insane whirlwind. It was 2 years worth of winners. I was, and it was the shortest period of time I've ever been there with them. It was a whirlwind. I had a lot of fun though. And got to meet anyone. 38, I probably got more interviews per day than any other day. 39 was tough. We had a lot of inverts. And they just started to loosen up right at the end, which was a little strange, but still, what I didn't get there, I'm getting at home. And I did get, like I said, we're actually working on these, writing them down so I wouldn't forget them. I got to go through and edit everything, but I've got 12 of the winners, where I actually sat and talked for more than an hour to 2 hours with them. That was downstairs. I also got quite a few things with the judges. I went down, I had to put footnotes so I wouldn't forget it because there was a lot of material I picked up just because people are used to seeing me. Now, I'm not talking about the winners. I'm talking about the judges. The judges have gotten used to seeing me around there, and they know I'm not dangerous. In other words, they know I'm not there to do them any harm. And, well, you never know because, you're just looking at me. He's a crazy guy running around with a ponytail. So I was privy to a lot of conversations, especially this year, than I have been for any of the previous years. Some of the stuff is personal, so y'all not going to get to hear, but you'll get the gist of some of the conversations with some really big names, way over my head as far as authors and all go, because I'm a complete idiot. It's no, I've learned a lot. Don't get me wrong, and I got to tell y'all, I've learned enough. So as a nobody, anything had no interest in ever writing, that I'm sitting at about 18,000 words now. So this thing, because of what it involves, is 11 days and golf and then Navarre Beach it's gonna be pretty big, but still, I could have never even got that out. So when I met Emily and John, one of the first things I told them is I didn't understand things like, when you hear people, he's wearing his khaki shirt with his blue tie and it's buttoned. That just wasn't me. I couldn't get that out of my head. I could get like the story and I could get the other stuff, but I couldn't connect everything together. It just was like jibber jabber. And thanks to them and this, I can. And I have been very privy to be able to sit through both illustrators and authors for 4 years. So I've actually learned a lot. And then recently somebody gave me some stuff. By the way, I tried this the other day. I'm an idiot. So the lady gave me a dice and this little pouch thing and these pieces of paper to write a story. You got to roll the dice. And anyway, so I don't know. It came out a little weird, but it was my first attempt at doing something like that. It was, I told myself, here,
Those are called story prompts.
yeah. So, hey, I figured I'd give it a try because I sat there the day they did it. I was in the class with the day they did it. And I said, I'll give it a try. And then because I've met some of these judges, I've been able to ask them questions that they probably look at me like, what an idiot. But still, they answer them. And so you learn how to connect the dots. It's a lot easier. So reason I'm bringing this up, ladies and gentlemen, it's not so much that I'm going to ever be a famous author, that I'm even going to really write anything other than – the only reason I'm writing this is because of this woman named Emily. We're not going to mention any other last names or anything, Goodwin, but still, it's and I told this to Lazarus just last week. I said, when this thing's about 130,000 letters, so I'm going to print it off and stuff it in a phenomenal envelope and send it to Emily. He's like, why? I said, because she's going to be the one that edits the damn thing.
Oh,
I said, it's not so much the edit; it's going to be more of the grammar than it's going to be the editing. I said, and then I'm sure she'll write me back and say, "Are you crazy?" So, well, no, it's a cheat for me because I know all of them, and I know a lot of what they expect to see in a story. The kind of things that needs to be involved in a story, which we'll do a show just on that one day, just on the illustrators and the stories, just what they expect to see throughout the whole thing. Because really, I guess I would call it writing for PG-17 and below. I don't even know if I'd go PG-17, but we'll just say PG-17 and below. And I feel very comfortable. I'd give it to any of my grandkids or great-grandkids. I can't believe I just admitted I had great-grandkids. I would give it to any of them to read. Even in elementary, I wouldn't find anything in any of the stories I've read that would I consider offensive to anyone's children.
Right.
I mean, it's really easy reading. And like I said, there's lots of good stories, and it helps. And see, I would actually tell people, if you have kids in elementary, this is a good read for them because it's like a journey of stories for your imagination. So your imagination starts off here with this story, and then all of a sudden it's over here with this story, and then the next thing it's over here with this story, and then it's over here because oh no, Glenn, no, I got to be honest, most of them are not sci-fi, not in the way you mean sci-fi.
it's a mix of sci-fi and fantasy.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of fantasy. I'd have to go with that. No, I'm not saying there's no sci-fi. There is, but well, fantasy's good. Fantasy can be anything, goofball.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to read to know what we're talking about. I mean, when we say fantasy, there's a lot of things that can fit into fantasy. I'm just being honest with y'all. But that's a good way to read. But I would say it's a good place for kids to start. If you don't have an imagination, this will give you one. By the time you're finished, you will have an imagination. And there's stories that start out one way and you think you know the story, and then you don't know the damn story, which is good because I'm not often fooled. So I'm like, anytime somebody can make me look a different way, I'm happy because most movies is a waste of time for me to watch. Linda gets mad at me. We're like 15 minutes in the movie. I said, this is what's going to happen.
The butler did
No, this is not what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. Or even in a whole TV series, we'll be in season 1. I said, this is how this is going to end up. How do you know this?
Yeah, same here. I got the same curse.
She gets really mad at me. But it's easy to see the progression of things sometimes. You can meet them at Dragon Con, or if you're in San Diego, you can stop by and say hi. They'll have the writer. I was going to say tent set up, but
We have a booth there in San Diego, and we'll
Oh,
also
shit.
be at FanX.
So y'all can go visit them. They're very friendly people. Don't get too close to Emily; she bites. But no, I'm just kidding. Sarah's the one you got to watch out for. Emily's all sweet and innocent. Sarah's the demon. I'm just telling y'all. If she comes up and says hi, I'm Sarah, you need to run like fast as you can. And when she asks why, tell her Joe said so.
Said run.
No, they are so nice of a group of people. And I've said this 100 million times. And I even had a lady write into me from Milwaukee and ask me why I keep saying this. She goes, I don't understand. You say you're so nice and you say you're always waiting for them to drive. I said, because when people are this nice, you're always waiting for somebody. Y'all, there's always room for disappointment. So I said, I'm always waiting for somebody to come out the closet with the knives. Like, yeah, I got you now. And I said, but they're not. I said, I said, they're just really good people and really nice people. And I said, I would endorse them in anything they do. I said, so. And she's like, well, I hear you say that all the time. She said, but you sound like you're scared they're going to kill you. I said, no, it's just a joke, sweetie. It's not a real thing. But we get a lot of calls about y'all when I'm out lecturing. We get a lot of people ask about y'all. It's amazing how many people, like when I'm doing Mississippi State or at LSU, I got a gig coming up at LSU in 2 weeks, and they've already asked if they could ask about y'all. And
Wow.
I said, they send me a pre-list of questions for different things they want to talk about. And they basically want to just go through my radio career from top to bottom. So I'm like, that's fine. And they're looking to help kids to understand podcasting. And I got one of those coming to Mississippi, and then one in Alabama, and then one in South Carolina. But I said, sure, you can ask anything you want. I said, I usually hang out with them a week a year, and I talk to them during the year quite a bit. I said, so feel comfortable. He said, and before he even goes anywhere, he said, let me ask you this. So what are you saying? Would you endorse them? He said, I've listened to your radio shows before. He said, you can be a real asshole. And he said, would you actually endorse? I said, I've already have. I said, I endorse everything they do. I said, I went there originally. I said, John invited me because I was giving him so much shit about this that he said, I'm just going to bring you down here and shut your ass up. And so people, don't get me wrong. He's not the first person who's done me for this, but what he did versus most everybody else who's offered me things like this was I had unfeathered access to everyone, including poor Emily, who was running around like a demon woman because she was not doing 1 year, but 2 years. And there was people everywhere. Joni, everybody. I mean, I had held the whole staff. It didn't matter who it was. And poor Maliva, I probably drove just batshit crazy the first year. And but no one, whether it was Author Services or Galaxy Press, did not answer a question I asked. And I asked a lot of questions. And some of them were impertinent, some of them were rude. And they still, what got me, guys, is so usually when you ask an impertinent question or a rude question, there's some kind of pause before the answer. There was no pausing in any questions that I asked. And so I said, okay, well, the staff's pretty cool. So then he said, well, you can talk to the judge, start talking to the judges. And I'm asking the judges all kind of questions. They're like, no, yeah, no. So then after like 3 days, that's kind of like, or 2 days, that's kind of like, shit, these people might be legit. So then I started getting into the interviews because I was there doing interviews. And while I'm doing interviews, I'm talking to some of the judges. I actually had a couple of cocktails with some of the judges, talked with quite a lot of the winners. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. Other than occasional familiarness with everybody, I couldn't find anything wrong. I mean, and y'all know what kind of ass I am, people. And I mean, really and legitly, I mean, I just couldn't find anything wrong. People ask me this question or that question, but in the end, I would endorse them, whoever they are, wherever they were, whoever they were affiliated with. It doesn't really matter because I know the people who are there, and those people are exactly what they told me they were. So that's a rare thing to find these days. Usually there's some kind of game being played, some kind of hidden. Oh, speaking of it, I got to call Chelsea and harass her. I knew there was somebody I forgot about. Damn. Well, no, I'm not going to get into this, but I'll tell you. Well, I won't be able to tell you all night, but I got it. We were talking about a particular. She found that I did hypnosis, and we got to talking about something, which I won't bring up in here because that probably stir too much crap. But it's so we're gonna we talked quite a bit about it while we were there, but you know how it is. Everything's rushing around being crazy. So I told her sometime this year we can get together and talk about it more.
Oh, good. Good.
John knows what I'm talking about. The rest of y'all don't need to know. It's need to know. How's that? Need to know. Ooh, burn. Anyway, I gotta let these guys get out of here. They got things they gotta do. It's still party time out in LA, man. It's what? Like
No, it's still work time. This is
they still got sunlight probably over there, huh?
We have a book release. That's
we have a
what
book.
we're
We're
on.
going to go back to selling books. More people here.
Okay, make sure you get your copy of Writers.
And go buy the damn book, people.
Yeah, definitely buy it.
Yeah, what? I have no idea. That was jibber jabber. Rewrite that if you want me to ask them right quick. I was jibber jabber. I have no idea what that meant. Have you been drinking? I'm just asking if you have been drinking. No, and I've said this 100 times. That's one of the reasons you don't hear me talk about what hotel we're at, because none of y'all can just come walking in and ask, and it doesn't work that way. And I'm not saying that I might not be rude to you. So Emily would never be rude. She's a sweetie pie, but I might be rude to you. No, I'm serious. I might be rude to you. Well, when I'm working, and I'll tell people if I'm traveling and I want to meet people. Here's my phone number. Text me, call me, set up a time to meet with me. Don't just come walk up on me because I might be rude to you. Especially because you never know what I'm in the middle of. Unless I'm there with somebody or with a group of people who know me, it's different, but I know. And they don't need to be bothered. Trust me when I say this. They're nonstop going all the time. I didn't even get to have breakfast with John this year. Usually I get to have breakfast with his ass.
Well, we did cook up that one night about 2 o'clock in the morning and a glass of wine.
Well, people, because it's a lot going on. There's a lot of people going on. And, well, Jack, it's not that. You mean keeping me busy? No, there's lots of people to talk to. And like I said, this year, I got to do a lot of, it was different this year because I got to do a lot of sit down chatting and people are more comfortable when there's no mic stuck in their face. And so this year I got a lot more information than no secrets like that. If that's what you're asking me, no, nothing bad about them. If that's what you're asking, and think about it. I'm sitting here with several of these people. We've had a few cocktails and we're all talking. And sometimes these two get mentioned, not in context of whatever we're talking about. And still no one talks bad about them. What can I say? Yeah, what can I say? People always tell the truth when they're drunk. So obviously they like Emily and John. The whole staff is just really good people. They really are. They're really good people. I like all of them. Sarah's one of my favorites. Even though I make Maliva crazy, she's one of my favorites. She probably hates me, but I love her.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Jason. I got to meet Jason. Now I understand who Jason is. I got to meet his dad this year, who was just a sweetie pie. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, people. They're just all really nice. We got to go because they got to get out of here. But Ginger and all of them, it's galaxypress.com if you want to get the book, writersofthefuture.com if you want to submit anything. You can submit 4 times a year. What are we, halfway through now?
Yeah,
almost.
for year 40.
Yeah, coming up on it.
So they're halfway through. No, but you can't. No, if you start in the beginning of the year, you can submit 4 times a year. It doesn't matter if you're an illustrator or an author. You can still submit 4 times a year.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you got 2 times to submit this year. So get your butts out there, get busy. Look, don't even tell me you can't. I watch these people. I've watched 4 years of people writing a story in 24 hours. I don't even want to hear it. No, I don't even want to hear it. Can you say that? Caterio? I know I'm butchering. Katii. I've never even seen that before. Okay, you're just weirding me out. No, it's just one of those things, guys. So we're gonna get out of here. Y'all tell John and Emily good night. They're gonna go dancing and have some wine.
Right.
Yeah, right.
We're gonna put Emily in some little slinky dress and put her out there and let her go dancing for a while.
What do you think, John?
Midnight when we get home from work.
Well, that works. That still works with a glass of wine.
And even one last thing too, if because you're talking about going out and doing and talking at these various classes and stuff. If it ever comes up, somebody wants me to come out there, if they're willing to pay, I'll gladly do that. We can advance notice to come out there and do one of these programs with you.
Yeah, because they just usually whatever they want to talk about, they usually will ask in the beginning, or sometimes they'll ask at the end, but a lot of times they'll ask in the beginning. Because it's amazing to me how many of these young students are writers or illustrators, and we're usually not talking about that. I mean, we do talk about it somewhat, but I think it's because I know y'all and I've met so many people that are just curious now, And I tell them all, it's basically, I tell them the same thing, but I just say, look, submit, you win, you're going to be treated really well. They take really good care of you. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy because it's going to be a whirlwind, but it's going to be a fun whirlwind. And I said, I give you my word, you'll have a good time while you're there. I said, I'm just telling you now. And I said, and I'll vouch for everybody you're going to meet there because I get other questions sometimes. And I said, no, I'll vouch for anybody out there. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah. And I said, they take good care. And I said, I would just go get one of the books because sometimes I'm out now, but before I was bringing a couple with me and I give out a couple here and there, but I think I gave my last ones out just recently. And no, the four I just showed you, no, those are all autographed copies. They're not a shot in hell. I got 4 other ones. You know what? Maybe we'll do.
Press.com and you can get one.
Maybe we'll do an auction this year for Christmas and buy something for some poor person. Yes, like myself. No, just kidding. No, I got 8 all together. I got the 39s as special editions because they've got signatures that none of the other people have gotten. Plus, I got Tom Wood's late night autograph because he missed the first day. No, the poor man got stuck at a tarmac for 12 hours or something.
Yeah.
I felt for him. He was tired when he got in.
Yeah.
He's an illustrator. Actually, I consider him my friend, and him and Echo and Lazar and not Bob Lazar, idiot.
Lazarus.
I know I said Lazar, it's Lazarus. He goes on the Lazarus Black, yes. And I know his woman, and she is. We're not even going to say. She's jungle mommy. Don't mess with her. I'm just telling you.
She's amazing. She's the coordinating judge for the illustrator contest.
Yeah, we're talking about Echo Chernick, and she's a blast. And no, she's high energy. She does a lot of work. I've seen her with these classes. She's very fair the way she handles people, but she wants them to learn. I mean, y'all are there to learn, so that's part of it. They want you to learn, and they want you to be exposed to all of these really big names, and they expose you to a lot of people who are famous. They expose you to a lot of media from a lot of different directions. So it's just, and see how nice I was this year? See, I was nice this year. I thought I was going to be me. I was nice this year. Yeah, you don't know what I'm talking. People have to be there to know what I'm talking about. But there is a lot of media they get exposed to. And the idea is to build up positive relationships with the media and show people that you have this positive media out there. Because people don't realize you don't have to go deal with an idiot. There's lots of good media out there. And especially for this. I mean, this is good stuff. Not many, you don't really hear anybody talking negatively about Writers of the Future. And if they are, then they just don't actually know who they are. Because I had one guy I was doing a show at KKRX or something out of New York, and or New Jersey, wherever the hell it was. And he was going on and on about him. I said, "You've never met any of them, have you?" He's like, "No." I said, "Well, I was the same way you were, dude." And then I told him the story. He's like, "Oh, really? Oh, I gotta go get the book." I said, "You know what? I'll send you one up." And then he told me he went and got 2 others after that. So. Because people, they're good people. And I'm telling you now, submit and win, have some fun. You never know what's going to come out of it. Having Writers of the Future, having a win for Writers in the Future is going to help you in ways you don't understand, especially. So there's big winners, and then there's quarterly winners, which will help you. But then there's the big winners. Oh, yeah. There's 2 people. They get chose over everybody else. Yes, I want to see one year somebody's going to faint. I know it. I'm just waiting. I'm just kidding. They're well prepped, actually, guys. It's great. And matter of fact, you can go either to writersofthefuture.com and see this year's gala or last year's. You can go over to uprontalkradio.com. You can also find it there. And it's going to be on a new site, which is upron.com.homestead.com. Sorry. And that's the new site that's being finished up. So it will be finished this weekend for y'all.
That's awesome.
So y'all can all go over there and see that. There's lots of pretty pictures of Emily and John and Sarah and Maliva and everybody. I got pictures of everybody. So I got pictures of them for the last 3 years, so y'all can compare and stuff. Say, we can put them side by side if we want to. No, they're all great, and we got to go because they got to go. They've been here way longer than they should be. What? Yes. Look, I'll let John tell you, but you can talk to them at conferences, but don't be a pain in the ass. They don't believe that they can come up and talk to you, John.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. If you want to, you can because I'm on Facebook. It's the easiest way to reach me. Just go there, or messenger me there, and we can set up a time to come by and visit at the either Dragon Con or FanX or San Diego Comic Con. We'll be more than happy, Emily and myself, to chat with whoever would like to talk to us.
Again, submit your story. Don't bring it and give it to John. Submit it.
Yeah, we're not taking stories back with us. It's
Yes,
blind.
you're
We're
too
not-
busy, and plus all that shit weighs, and you got to put it on an airplane. Guys, no,
Not
just
happening.
submit it. Okay, I don't want you to get disappointed or anything, so just submit it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can stop by and say hi, and like John said, hit him up on Facebook and because they're not always there. Sometimes Emily's off doing something. Sometimes John's off giving a lecture or something. There's a lot of stuff that goes on at these cons, so if you want to catch one or the other, particularly, you might want to know when they're going to be around.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was Emily. Yes, that picture, that's Emily. She's standing under Turley. Yeah, she's like this. Yeah, that's her. That's her. I know she looks this big. I agree with you. She does. He said he wasn't sure she was so skinny. He wasn't sure. I
Oh.
was like, that's because she was stretched anyway. People, we're not going into that. She's really nice. They're both really good people, and you'll be fortunate to meet people like these in your life. So try to win. Try to get out there. And if you happen to be at one of the, in San Diego,
Yeah.
We'd love to see you.
I'm gonna definitely see him in not in San Diego, in Atlanta for sure. So I'm gonna try to get up to because there's some other stuff I want to see in Utah this year. So I'm gonna try to get up there as well. But just be nice, be courteous, say hi. Buy a book. Actually, buy one of them pictures from Sarah, and I'll be in the good for the next year.
Yeah, we have autographed Rosetta prints there.
Yes. Or buy me one of them. Yes. Oh no, just two of them I like, but Sarah won't give me no damn deal on them. She will. I'm just like, I like giving her trouble. No, if y'all ever get to meet her too, she's another whirlwind. So you'll get to meet a lot of interesting people. They're really good people. Go out and say hi. They might try to sell you a book, so be careful. But other than that, they're very good.
If we only try to sell you one book, then you can throw something at us. If it's
Yes, I could already tell you, because if Sarah sees you, buddy,
5 books, and we're gonna go back home. It's failure.
Sarah's they're workhorses. No, these people work their asses off. That's as politely as I can say it. I've only met a handful of people in my life that works like these guys do. They have an outstanding work ethic. Yes, they do. If the whole country worked like that, we'd already be freaking living on Mars somewhere. No, I'm serious. I think I'm playing. But Kirby, thank y'all guys for all right now. We're going to let them get out of here because they got things they got to do. And, we were talking about getting them going dancing and stuff. So they're going to go have some fun. They're going to work. But it's, no, seriously, they're going to work. But go over to galaxypress.com, you don't have to log in. Just go in, buy the book, go to shop, click on, get it. I'm not giving any away until probably the end of summer. So I got to talk to John, but no, because I want y'all to go get some first.
Yeah, please.
We'd like to see y'all buy some
bestsellers.
Yeah.
Yes. And he's going to send me a promo, and I'm going to put it on all. I know. Okay, so before y'all go, this was a big bitch about some other stuff we've done recently. So because only so many of them will watch us on video, I'm going to get them to make me a little link. It's going to have a little video with a little link, and I'm going to post it on all of our social media, on all, 18 pages we got now. And they'll be available on social media for y'all. And I will repost them once a week so y'all know they're there. How's that? Yeah, I know, because sometimes you can't find things, or you only hear things. People, you can always go back and listen to the archive again, right? That's too complicated, isn't it? Right. Anyway, I'll get them to sit in. We'll start posting them, and that way you can find the books and the audiobook much easier. I posted them one for the audiobook, so y'all should still be up there, but I don't know if they changed it, because that was a special 99-cent deal. And that's no.
Well, one thing I'm creating this week here is some special promos for the audiobook, where we're going to give away one free story. We're doing about 7 or 8 of the different stories in there with through a company called Book Funnel, where you can get then one free audio story And then obviously at the end, the punchline is to buy the audiobook to get the rest of the stories, but you get a whole story for free. So we'll have it up sometime later this week, and I'll send these to you, Joe, when it's done.
Well, see, guys, there you go. It's no, they actually got great prices. No, they got great prices.
Yeah.
Go to
I,
Galaxy.
I bet you. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Emily. I didn't mean to cut
I
you
was
off.
just saying, go to galaxypress.com and you can see for yourself.
Yes, and Christina, answer your question. I bet you about all prices. It doesn't matter what it is. Give me the damn thing for free. I'm still gonna bitch. That's just who I am. But go to galaxypress.com. Get the book. Get there. But look, you don't have to stop at 39 now. Usually when I'm on their pages, because every now and then I like to stop in, they got little groups of like 5 or 7 books. Y'all still got those?
Yeah.
So they'll have like volume 26 through whatever, or 31. Anyway, some of these, well, you can't see them because these aren't behind me. Is these them? No, these aren't them. But there's another set I got in here somewhere that starts at 26 and goes up. Yeah, so you can go back and get the older stories. Well, I was curious to vet the older stories against the newer stories to see if I felt like a big difference between, because it's like a decade we're talking here. And first off, all the stories were good either way you went. And they weren't, how can I say this? They were all different, but yet they kind of ran across the whole decade according to kind of how the decade was run. It was very interesting to read them like that. So you can kind of get a feel through these stories of the last 10 years in our country, or I shouldn't say in our country, but on the planet. So, and Toulouse, is that how you say your name? Toulouse. So I'm assuming you're somewhere in Europe. Where? Spain. Oh, well, shit. Well, hello over there in Spain, Madrid. Oh, well, I'm jealous already. I want to go to Madrid. And yes, you can submit. It doesn't matter where you're from. You can submit. And if you win, guess what? They will bring your ass over here. I know. I'm saying the same thing, man. I'm like, the first time, well, where was this? I think it was the second year John said they were flying somebody in from Australia. I'm like, what? Who? Wait, what?
3 people.
Yes. Yeah. So that was crazy. People, you know how far Australia is and how it's not exactly cheap to fly. Even coach is not cheap to fly from Australia.
It's on the bottom of the planet, basically.
Let's be honest about it. And New Zealand, all of them. Oh no, they had a winner from Spain. What was it? 2 years ago? 1 year ago? 2 years ago.
And also one of our judges is in Spain. Cirillo.
Yes. Yeah. So, oh no, I don't know if you're from North Korea, but everywhere else, I think you're okay. No, I can honestly tell you it's not BS. They will fly you in from where you're at.
We've had a few winners from Iran that we couldn't get visas for.
Yeah. Well, they just had two. Where was it? The two boys were from Puerto Rico. Is that where they were from this year? Costa Rica. Sorry.
That's the first year they've had winners from Costa Rica that came up.
So you can look at them like that. But
he's now back in Costa Rica. The one guy is like guest of honor on Chris. He's the guest of honor now at the big Comic-Con down there in Costa Rica, and he's been on multiple TV. He's doing awesome since winning. Because it's a big deal, and it doesn't matter what country you're in, people. This is a big deal. Whether you're in the United States, in Europe, it doesn't matter. This is a big deal. So, and when you're looking for a job and you say, "Hey, I won Writers of the Future," that's going to help you. It's not going to hurt you. They're going to be like, "It was Chris." Was it that getting his visa?
Yeah, so he was getting his visa in Costa Rica, and then they have a series of questions they ask. Anyway, he said he went down there, and the lady was like, "Oh, yeah, I know about Writers and Illustrators of the Future." So she started asking him all these questions about the judges and what it was like, and then didn't even ask the, immigration questions and just signed him off and sent him on his way.
Well, my best interview I got with those two was after they went to that one in the morning. And we were sitting on the couch, the three of us, in the lobby downstairs. We talked for about an hour. Finally, they relaxed enough to talk to me. Mm-hmm. The only one I couldn't get to sit down for more than 2 minutes was Servio. He was just like in.
He's like, yeah.
He was like, okay. I was like, well, we're just going to leave him alone.
From Ukraine.
And catch it.
He's a wild man.
Yeah, we've been doing pretty good in Ukraine again. And Russia, too. Our numbers in Russia have been going up. They had gone down about 1.5 million listeners, and they've been going back up. I don't know who the hell's listening to us over there, and if you are listening to us in Russia right now, it's
thank you very much.
Yeah. It's got to be the wee hours in the morning. So I'm glad you stayed up, or you're just getting up with your cup of coffee and listening to us. And no, we don't hate Russia. How do you like that? I know y'all think all Americans hate you, but guess what? We don't hate y'all. We love y'all. Yes. The Ukraine war is not my problem. That's y'all's problem. Damn it, the Ukraine's war. I'm not getting involved in it. I'm sorry, guys. But we're going to go. We're going to let John and Emily get out of here. And then when John and I.
Okay.
John
Good night,
and I.
Thank you, Joe. And thank you
y'all,
for
guys.
listening.
And thanks for the promo. It was great. Y'all going to see that promo a lot coming up. Don't forget, go to galaxybest.com. Buy a book. I know you're going to have to hear me during Christmas holidays, but still buy one now. Get them while they're fresh. You don't want to get a stale one in December. It'll be stale by December. You want to get a fresh one.
Exactly. And support these writers and artists. Okay, thank you very much.
Good night, guys. Thanks for y'all showing up. And they're going to go bye-bye, and Jay and I are going to start tearing up some people and just being generally rude to everybody else on the planet. No, Carolyn. So, when you do that, I always think of the one from, Poltergeist.
Carol Ann.
Yeah. Because they got somebody that comes in with the nickname Carol Ann. Yeah, I always think that's who you are. Carol Ann. Oh, I have been watching the new Quantum Leap. I can't talk about it because Jay's behind.
I haven't caught up yet. I'm collecting.
I'm on episode 17. I'm on the last one. And, okay, I'm going to address your question. So, yes, I did hear that a lot of people got mad at the girl, the one that identifies as they. Just recently, they wanted to get him off the show. So, I've watched all the episodes but the last one. There is one that's particularly woke. I'm not going to lie to y'all. But I've kind of identified with this character in a way. I don't really care what he identifies as, he, she, it. It doesn't really matter to me. But for some reason, one particular show, all his tattoos were out on his arms. Then it offended a bunch of people. I'm going to go back and see if the tattoos were something that should offend somebody. Personally, I didn't see anything, but I wasn't looking that hard. I was more, the character is a good character for what he's doing. He's a he. I mean, his real name is Mason, but no, he identifies as they. The only thing I don't like about yeah, I just, when people identify as they, I get a little, because growing up in school and going to school, one of the first things they teach you is that they means you're schizoid. When you identify as they, that means you have multiple personalities. You're schizoid. That's not a good thing. Unfortunately, the Z-Geners and the millennials are not that smart, so they're just figuring this out. Yeah, well,
But the other weird thing about the character is that he identifies as they. He's a male, born male, but he dresses
his real name's Mason.
Feminine, like he's almost like a girl.
He does. Well, yeah, last night he had blonde hair, makeup, dress, lipstick. Oh, he's not bad looking character, male or female. It's strange. It's just different, very different. But he does his job in the series well. The guy who plays the Quantum Leap jumper, Ben, he does his job well. The girl, what's her name? Addison. She does okay. I mean, in this Quantum Leap, there's a bigger staff or actor group than there was in the original Quantum Leap. Pretty much in the original Quantum Leap, it was Scott Bakula and Al. Yeah,
you had Sam and Al.
Yeah, so that was pretty much it. And this one, there's in 3 of these, I've already been holograms for him. So I found that interesting. So all I can tell you, I'd go watch it. Yeah, judge it for yourself. See if you like it or not. My son told me about it. That's why I went. I've been looking for something new to watch. Well, I'm watching the Star Treks from Star Trek, the very first Star Trek, all the way to Strange New Worlds, which I just got through finishing Strange New Worlds because there's only 9 episodes or 10 episodes. But I've been watching them in order like that. And I got to thinking I should change the order around and watch Enterprise first, then Strange New Worlds, then Kirk's thing, then Picard. Because that's how it's actually set up. Because
Picard's actually after Voyager, Deep Space Nine, and Next Generation. So you'd have to watch those after.
Well, wait, I meant Next Generation when I said Picard's what I meant. So it'd be Kirk, then Next Generation. And then who was next? Deep Space Nine, then Voyager. Right? Voyager was last. amongst those Star Treks.
I think
And
so.
yeah, and then of course you got Discovery, then you got Picard, and then you got Strange New Worlds, and of course we're all hoping that 7 of 9 gets her own ship this year. So
That should be very cool.
I'm
Hey,
not
Joe,
sure.
back a minute.
Yeah.
I got to go visit somebody about a horse.
So, oh no, yeah, I did have them on there. Hold on, let me bring them up so I can actually see them. So, the reason these got posted earlier was because they kind of run in sync with each other. So, yes, the U.S. did have 2 bombers that were returned, or I should say, turned away by Russia. Yeah, we sent 2. Yeah, well, it's just been one of those things lately that the U.S. Well, Russia had been doing it for a long time. Now the U.S. is doing it in return. Yeah, so we're just sending them back. Well, it's part of it. No, it's just part of it. It's just a game we've been playing. So the Russians were just trying to see how far they can intrude into our space. Mm-hmm. So first off, let's talk about this. So the B-2 stealth bomber are back flying in the U.S. Air Force again. They were grounded. The whole fleet was grounded for 5 months because of a problem they had with one plane. So anyway, they're ungrounded and they are flying again. So we're flying them all over, just irritating people right now. And then, so the same week that they started flying again, Russia jets reportedly intercepted 2 U.S. bombers in intense encounter and turned them back. Yes. Also, while all this is going on the first deployment of the USS Navy's newest aircraft carrier, it's actually ported in NATO, in one of the front lines in NATO with Russia. It's ported right off the side of Russia. We're being provocative because Russia's been being provocative and the U.S. is tired of it. And when it comes right down to it, Russia don't stand a prayer in hell against the United States. I mean, shit, they can't even beat the Ukraine. Well, China is their friend, but China don't want to get in a war with us. Especially now that we can knock down all their drones without any problem at all. Oh, yeah, we got a couple things that kills drones now. A couple of different ways to kill drones now. Oh, yeah, we're not playing around with this shit anymore. Also, all of our hypersonic missiles are working great, and they're going to be deployed. It's part of the deterrent. So the U.S. feels the need that it's been slipping in its place around the world. So Donald Trump had started changing that, but when Cracker Joe got in, he started reversing everything that Donald did, and then he realized, oh wait, I'm screwing up. Yeah. I didn't even see it. I didn't even see this part of the group was open. I didn't see Roseanne in there and Flavio. I didn't see him in there. So how y'all doing? Yeah, no, I didn't see him. Oh, let me think for a minute. I'm trying to think who that was. No, I remember. Shit, I really don't remember who it was. No, actually, I don't. Oh no. Okay, so Donald Trump, Barack Obama, and Ronald Reagan all did the same thing. I think Bush did it once too, but they took nuclear-loaded submarines and brought them to the coast of China, right up to the coast of China, and then brought them above the water and showed themselves. They wanted to prove a point that each one of them was carrying 22 missiles with, I think, 6 to 8 warheads per missile. That's more than enough to level all of China. Quite a bit more than enough to level all of China. China didn't even know they were there. Had no clue. Didn't even see them. And by the time they did see them, all of China would have been leveled. Also, Trump had invited Xi Jinping to dinner at the White House, and they were having dinner. While they were having dinner, Trump pulled up he pulled up a submarine off the coast of Syria and launched, what was it, 99 cruise missiles off of one submarine while they were having dinner. He wanted to prove a point to Xi Jinping. Don't screw with us. The media might make you think we're weak, but in reality, we will kick your ass. That's what that comes down to. Well, yeah. We shouldn't have to do this anymore. We shouldn't have to live in a world like this anymore. Really and truly, we shouldn't. Yeah, I seen that one. The Chinese battery plant sparks protests in Hungary. I seen it. Yeah, it came up earlier. The IRS says my bank deposits were suspicious. What should I do? Uh-oh, you should haul ass. No, I'm just kidding. Don't run from the IRS. Uh-oh. State Farm is ceasing new applications in California for property insurance. Holy crap. People, y'all going to be in trouble out there. Meghan Markle is the desecrated face of an entitled woke America. Yeah, she is, really. Because really, America's not woke. So this is what you get. You get all the big news medias and big companies all get together and think they should do all this woke stuff. And then they find out it bites them in the ass because America's not woke. Because we don't want to be woke.
What?
We're just not who we are. We're not the Kaepernick. That's not who we are. We're not the Navy. Oh, let's make a transvestite recruitment thing for the Navy. Who could have possibly see? There's some stuff here that makes me think that somebody's trying to wreck our country, because there's no possible way any sane individual could have thought that making a transvestite recruitment thing was going to work. Now, Navy's already having trouble with retention, so now like 22% say they want out because of the commercial. I noticed the Pentagon is not talking about this, but it's out. The news is out now. They're like, and then the Air Force does this big transvestite dance thing. Now a bunch of Air Force people want out. So what is this, to run people out? Because let's be honest, how many transvestites do you think are in the country, Navy? It's like 1.1%, and only maybe 1% of them would even be interested in joining the Navy. I mean, what the hell is wrong with you people? Now, and then of course we're still dealing with the Budweiser fallout, and then now Adidas is in trouble. And somebody told me that Ford's got this new ad, or Chevy's got, one of them's got this new ad where they're going through the mud and getting dirty, and when they come out of the mud and wash off, they're all wearing rainbow clothes. I hope not, Ford. You've been the number one truck dealer forever. If that's your commercial, you just dropped down to last.
You know, I also saw an article, and I didn't read it, but there was an article, and I think Bud Light was part of it. That several of these companies are losing billions because of these commercials. Billions of dollars.
Bud Light has lost 25% since this commercial came out. 25%. Anheuser-Busch, because you know what, people, Anheuser-Busch hasn't belonged to an American for a long time. It was sold to a Swedish or Switzerland, some company over in the Scandinavian world anyway. And it's not an American company anymore. So I don't know who thought going from naked women running around or NASCAR to I'm a ferry boy was going to sell beer. I mean, what bothers me is how do these companies like, you know, Nike and Adidas and the military, how did they come to this conclusion? How many fucking transvestites do they think live in the country?
Well, I'll tell you what happened is this some ad campaign guy who designed those commercials sold them on the idea that, you know, transgenderism and wokeism and, you know, we, they, she, he, it, they kind of things is making other people money. And it's not. It's a lie. And they bought it. They bought the commercial, and now they're seeing the you know, negative effects of it.
I mean, some of this stuff is just ridiculous. I mean, some of the things they're trying to do is just stupid. Look, okay, people, first off, I'm from New Orleans. So transvestite and gay and black and things like that is not a thing to us. This is just part of where we live. The French Quarter itself is half gay. No, I'm not kidding you. They have half the French Quarter is gay. And part of the Marigny is, and Uptown is, and St. Charles is. So there's a large gay population. Well, we grew up with that. We never thought anything about gays other than that they're gay. That was it. That was the only thing. Transvestites. Chris Owens was a transvestite for, I don't know, 50 years or so. So we grew up with all of that. It's not a thing to us. But the country had to make it into a thing. And then Obama had to make it into, let's fight about bathrooms. And then Biden tried to do the same thing. Let's fight about bathrooms. Well, the question really comes down to, do you want a grown man with his wangy thing hanging out, going into the girls', 12th grade or 10th grade or 11th grade bathroom and taking a piss? Because remember, guys and girls, not all transvestites are gay. I know y'all forget that.
Cross-dressers, yeah.
Yes, that's what they are. They're cross-dressers, but they're not gay. So now you got these, and then it gets worse than that. So I've seen a couple of states now have passed rules where, so in gym, these guys can race with them now. So I watched this guy the other day. He's twice the size of any girl on this race team. On this race, and of course he won. I mean, he easily won.
Is that the one where the second and third place winners didn't step on the podium?
Yeah, that's the same one. Yeah, they wouldn't get on the podium, and because it wasn't fair. There are sports, like darts or even tennis, maybe even golf. But when you get into full blown physical sports like football, now football might be different. Soccer, that might be different. Girls might be able to get out there and play soccer.
Because there's really not supposed to be any physical contact in soccer, but football, physical contact. And with the race, when you got this large man transitioning to a woman racing smaller women, it's absolutely not fair. He's taller, stronger, bigger muscles. Yeah. When you go into like a boxing type of sport, they categorize you by size and weight, by height and weight. So
what happens if LeBron
fighting someone who's 6'2"? It's unfair.
Well, what happens if LeBron and Anthony, whatever his name is, from the team decide they want to be playing the girls' team and they're girls now? Nobody in the freaking league is going to be able to beat them.
Yeah.
They'll be unstoppable. The thing of it is, people, is look, I don't understand, I want to be a girl so I can win sports. That just tells me that you were cowardly and you couldn't win as a man. So you got to go pick up on some poor girls. I know a lot of women who can defend themselves and are pretty mean, pretty tough. But there are some things, especially when it comes to upper body things like swimming, men are 2 or 3 times the strength of women do. And it's much easier for us to bulk up than it is for women. For women to get the kind of muscle that men do, they got to get on steroids, which is actually against the rules. Men don't have to. They can just bulk up. And by the way men eat, they can bulk up quickly. And what? Come on, we're going to let guys wrestle women? It was like fighting with my sister. She's going to lose. She might scratch me or something, but bite me. But she's going to lose. What do you mean hand-to-hand combat? So I'm going to put this for y'all. So when I was in the Navy, while I was being taught special forces, one of the things we were doing, we were teaching women martial arts and how to defend yourself against any type of martial arts. So one of the things the Navy teaches you is how to defend against any type of martial arts, because all martial arts has this stance or that stance or this stance or whatever. It teaches you how to defend against it. But the problem is, so they had these 3 Marine chicks, and I was showing them. I said, well, y'all just all can attack me at one time. Well, the problem for them was I was 190 pounds, solid muscle. So when they'd run up and do the kick, I just put my chest out and push. Well, because they were only $110 or $120, went flying the other way. I didn't even have to touch them. And it's just not a fair thing. Now, when you see this in TV and movies, it's not how it is. Some women, if they hit you in the nose, kick you in the nuts, yeah, they got a chance. But sweeping my legs out, I'm 250 pounds. I'm just going to grab you as I go down and just beat the living crap out of you. There's not even a chance there. I don't care. Even if you're a 6-foot woman weighing 200 pounds, I'm still going to beat the living crap out of you. So, don't believe what you see on TV. Pay attention to the things that can save your life. And martial arts may save it if you get the right connections. But if you run up to somebody like me, you're just going to hit me and I'm just going to get pissed. And even you break I've had my nose broken before and mess people up. So it's you just got to think about that. There are some things that men are just physically bigger than women are, and there's not much you can do about it unless you want to bulk up our women and make them look like us. And who the hell wants to do that? Men are ugly. Let's just be honest about it. So we need to maintain some distances. Some sports should be women only. Some sports, they can mix. But letting guys go be on the wrestling team or I just on the track, it's just not fair, and it makes us look so chicken shit when we do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched 3 different track races that this guy just whooped everybody with nothing, and then finally at the big one because he won first place, the other 2 wouldn't get on the podium, and you couldn't blame them. It wasn't fair to them. It would have been a whole different race. It would have been between those 3 women who, the other one didn't even get to get on the podium. It's bullshit.
Another thing you can think about is these men transitioning to women, competing against women. If they're always going to win, what kind of a challenge is that? I mean, who wants to be in a sport where you always win? You got to have losses and wins. I mean, even Tiger Woods, he came out of the gate really strong with very few losses, and now he's hit or miss. He's 50-50. He's either good that day or his back is out and he stinks. But you get to the point where you're fighting or running against or competing against smaller, weaker people than you. How are you going to lose? What's the point?
Actually, Gene, on golf, you can do a handicap. So men can drive further than most women. So a man can drive 300 plus yards, a woman 280, 300. So what you do is you give the woman a 20-yard up and let her.
Yeah, that's why the ladies' tees are always ahead of the men's tees.
Yeah. So you can do it that way. And then men and women can play against, because once you get past the initial driving, it's all the same. A woman can drive just
from that point.
Yeah, because a woman can hit just as far as a man can after that, and putting and all of that's the same. So, it could be played that darts could be played like that. I had a lot of females on our team, and there are other sports like tennis. Oh, come on, Billie Jean got his ass whooped. So don't tell me women. I would not want to go up against what's her name? What is her name? She's all over TV now. She retired, but one of the sisters.
Serena.
I would not want to go up against her in tennis. I think she'd beat my ass like it was nothing.
Her arms are bigger than my legs. I couldn't beat her in tennis.
No, she's so yeah. There are some sports that can be doubled up, but track, swimming, wrestling, football, no. Baseball, no, because men are just going to be able to hit harder and farther and throw faster.
Always.
Hockey, no. Basketball, no, because on average, the men are going to be taller.
And they're always taller, yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, there are, so why can't we do it the right way? But no, because liberals, what is it with you liberals? No, Gene, I'm a centralist. Oh, no, I'm not an independent, because independents don't stand for anything anymore. They just are independents. The GOP is GOP. Yeah, they're just there. And because they don't even try to get a party going. The centrists are actually trying to start a party. And so my thing is, I see both sides of all of this crap. Either one side's always going to be guiltier than the other, but you never know which side it is going to be until down the line. So what are you telling me? So let me get this right. So you really think that GOP wants to get rid of Social Security? Do you really believe that? Really? Do you believe that? Because if you believe that, then you're not even worth talking about. Why? First off, do you know how many people on Social Security in the United States? And most of them are elderly or on disability. It's a lot of people. GOP would never get elected ever again. Oh no. Don't believe the propaganda that you hear. My biggest problem is nobody seems to go to jail for their crimes in DC anymore. Not anybody big. Little people go all the time. Like a lot of Hillary's staff people went. The guy who owned the servers went, but Hillary never went. And she destroyed she destroyed evidence and didn't go. She destroyed a lot of evidence. And
she should be in federal prison right now. Her and her husband.
Yeah, 26,000 emails. Let me tell you, if it's you or I, we'd still be in prison. Oh, yeah. No, that shit's not going to fly for normal, everyday people. And then she's known as Hillary. She's a scary person to be around. You mean Epstein? Wait, what about Epstein? Oh, wait, you're telling me Trump was an Epstein? Oh, no, dude. You got that back now. Obama had been to the island, and so had Clinton had been like 26 times or something. 28 times. Trump was only ever seen with Epstein one time, and there was some little kids jumping on him, and this was at Mar-a-Lago. And did you know he banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago?
Kicked him out that very instant.
That day, because he had like 4 16-year-olds with him. He's like, no, you're out. You are out. So you're talking about the trial in New York. First off, even if he loses, I think they're gonna appeal, but they're gonna appeal to move it to a different venue because there's no way he's gonna get a fair trial in New York. But remember, a lot of what these 32 charges are, a lot of these are federal. So this guy has no, they're going to get waived when they get with the judge. And some of this other stuff is past the statute of limitation. That's going to get waived. And trying to get, so if he can get a conviction for stormy damage and hush money, do you know he's going to have to go after Clinton then? Clinton paid off 4 women. And he ain't the only president. There's like 7 or 8 presidents that's done this. So you're setting the precedents now. You're asking for trouble that you don't want to get into. They're scared of Trump. What they're really scared of is Trump and Santos might get the next 12 years. And if they sneak Haley Berry in there, they might get 20 years. That's what they're worried about. Because right now, Trump is, last I checked, he was 12 points ahead of Joe, 24 points ahead of DeSantis. So what everybody's thinking is going to happen is they're going to run in the primary, and DeSantis is going to get close to the time. He's just going to give Trump his votes, which will probably be more than enough to put him over the top, and then Trump will probably offer him a VP's job.
And all this hullabaloo about the court cases is just giving him free press to get his name out in the ring.
And that's the other thing. As soon as the New York, so he was losing until the New York cases came on, then all of a sudden he was ahead. It looks like Georgia's not going to try to go after him. So this is just a New York thing. And one guy just said it's a racist. This guy just hates white people. I said, well, I don't know if that's true or not. I said, he probably just hates Trump. I said, but he's just trying to make a name. Lose or win, this guy's going to make a name for himself. But I don't know, 32 charges. It's some of the biggest bullshit I've ever heard. Well, there was more charges against him than that for the Russiagate. The fact that we allow this to go on in our country is sad, because this is all politically motivated, all of this. And the fact that the guy from Proud Boys got 20 years. So let me ask y'all something. This is how screwy our country is. I'm not saying he didn't deserve it or deserve it. I don't know enough about June 6th. Or Jan 6th, sorry. So this is the real problem. We let BLM go across our country for 2 years, rape and pillage and to destroy it. $22 billion worth of damage. At least 100 women reported being molested or raped, and at least 10 people dead, not including how many buildings that were destroyed along the way, just including a federal building.
Businesses looted.
And a whole area of Seattle taken over. And we did nothing. Nobody went to jail. Nobody. But here we are with Trump, or here we are with Jan 6, and because it was at the Senate building, everybody want to put everybody in jail now. But why? Where were you when they were doing this before? And BLM actually stormed up against, and for some reason we've forgotten that, the year before. People trying to climb the White House's fences and rioting all over the place. I don't know. So it's okay. So what it basically comes down to me is, if you're black, it was okay for you to rape and pillage and destroy. But if you're white, you can't. You're going to prison. That's what it comes down to. Oh, yeah. Because nobody in the Jan 6 was black.
Prosecutors that in those BLM areas that were being ransacked didn't want to be labeled a racist for putting these people on trial.
Yeah. Plus, the Democrats were buying them out left and right. No, it was sad, people. You don't even have to take my word for it. It's all over the media for 3 years. It happened. And wait, it didn't happen one time. It happened twice. Remember, it happened under Obama and Trump. And we allowed it to go on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it didn't go on in the South, but it went on up north and out west. Oh, no, it didn't go on in the South. And the South is not going to put up with that kind of behavior. There ain't no way. You just started rioting and looting all over New Orleans, that'd have been a moron. No, first off, everybody down here owns a gun.
Yeah.
So you're not going to go just... Well, look at the 2 people in California. Remember, they were out there rioting, stealing, and breaking down their fences. They came out with guns, not even loaded, and almost got 10 years. Now, the Democrats had to back off on that because the people were trying to loot and destroy their home. And the Second Amendment gives you the right to defend yourself. So technically it doesn't, actually. The Second Amendment actually... So I'm going to clarify this for everybody. And y'all going to get mad at me, but the Second Amendment does not give you the right to carry a gun. It gives you the right to create a militia. So originally the militia, it was what now we call the National Guard. There used to be a militia. So what it's telling you is you're allowed to build an in the country army a militia that has the same weapons as the U.S. Army does. That's how a militia is supposed to be handled. And in the beginning, that's how they did it. And of course, after it got big enough, it became the National Guard in each state. But that still doesn't count because the Second Amendment, and you never hear read this. It clearly says we have the right to form militias to protect ourselves from domestic and from foreign. And
both foreign
and domestic. And so they don't want us to do that. That's why it's always focused on gun rights.
Mm-hmm.
So, but people, if you go read it, you'll understand what it says. It doesn't actually say you can have a personal gun, but the states now say you can. All the states I visited live in is open carry, except for Florida. They would prefer you carry concealed, and they want you to get a permit. I called them down there. I said, I don't live there. I'm bringing my gun. What do I do? I said, because I'm going to carry it on me. And they said, well, there's a thing you can get, or, if a cop stops you, just tell them you've got a concealed weapon, but you have a permit for it wherever you live. I'm like, that's cool. Or if you're in a state where Mississippi is concealed or open carry, no permit. Louisiana is open carry, no permit, concealed permit.
Vermont is open and concealed carry, no permit.
That's how it should be. If you're over the age of 21, you should be able to carry your weapon.
Mm-hmm. Here in Pennsylvania, it's open carry, and we had a Constitution carry law on the books last election. Didn't pass, but it got some good footing. So maybe the next election we get
that'll probably pass.
Concealed carry, no permit.
Well, because all the permit for concealed carry is just a way for the government to track your gun. That's all it is.
Basically, in my experience, I had a concealed carry in Georgia. On the back of the concealed carry license, it actually said, if I were to witness or become near a felony in progress, if I had my gun on me at that time, I was obligated by the concealed carry card, to take my gun out and intervene and stop any felony that I become witness to.
And
so basically deputize you as a extra policeman.
Sarah Lynn, have I ever pulled my gun? I have actually had my gun out a couple of times. So recently, I'm on St. Charles Avenue, which is one of the richest parts of town. And I'm sitting there at a gas station, and I had my music playing, and my car's pumping gas. And this dude comes up with a machete. And I looked up at him. I said, don't think about it, dude. And he started, poking. I said, dude, don't. I said, there's a gun in the back seat. There's a gun in the front seat. I said, I don't know which I'm going to use, but I'm going to shoot your ass if you get too close to my car. So then he starts, so I pull a 9mm out. Whoosh. I said, this is your last warning. And I said, you're on camera. You threatened me with a machete. If I put a bullet in your head, nobody's going to say anything. I said, why don't you leave? And I said, better yet, why don't you put the machete in the trash can and leave? The guy in front of me and the guy behind me, because they were getting just as nervous, because he really didn't know who he was going after, but he's going after somebody's car. And I said, I'm only going to tell you this one more time. Put the machete in the trash can and leave, or I'm going to kill you. I said, I'm not going to wound you. I'm not going to maim you, because a maimed animal is dangerous. I'm going to kill you. And he looked at me, and my voice changed the second time I said I got that deep monotone voice, and he just put it in there and left. Because that voice sounded like, you know what, this white boy going to kill me. And he left. It was all on camera. I had to talk with the cops back because the cops came out and blah, blah, blah. They said, oh, you did a great job and all of that. And then, so we're on in the Maroney looking for a friend of ours. We're at a stop sign. These two guys come running up to the car, trying to get in the car. It's locked. They're trying to get in the car. And they're banging the car. And then he pulls out what looks to be probably a 38, because I got one in the back. A 380 is what it looked like. And it's like, fuck, I'm going to have to kill this motherfucker for sure. So I pull out my gun. I got it sitting on the seat. Barry pulls out his. So he's got a 1911 45, and I've got a Canik 9mm with 31 round clip in it. And I'm thinking, and I've got exploding hollow points in it. So if it hits you, you're dead. And so the guy come running up. He sticks his head in the car. When he does, I grabbed his arm, rolled up my window, pulled the gun out of his hand, put my window down, and just smacked him in the face with whack. And he hit the ground. And then as he did, I put the 9mm. I said, don't even fucking move. Just don't. I said, don't. I said, he went there. I said, dude, I'm telling you, I will shoot you. So the cops are on the way. You just going to wait till the cops get here. And the cop gets there, comes in. And they've been looking for this guy. Apparently, this guy shot somebody else. And Carjacked. See, in the city, when I'm in Metairie, in the suburbs, I don't carry my gun. It stays in the car. In the city, that sucker stays on my side all the time because twice in convenience store, somebody's going to rob a store while we're in it. This is so funny. We're in a pizza joint, right? This dude runs in. He's going to rob the pizza joint. He's got a little gun. So I'm standing in line. I'm getting ready to pull out mine. These two girls in front of me, one's carrying a pink 380, the other's carrying a blue, and they both whoop them out. And they're like, you better sit your ass down. Only in the South, this kind of shit happens, people. I'm laughing. I'm thinking. So it was so funny because we were all talking. Almost everybody in the store had a gun on them. Almost everybody in the store. I'm thinking, you got to be careful in the South, people, because you just don't know. Somebody's going to be carrying a gun, and you're going to probably get shot because we're itching to shoot people. So, no, we love everybody, but we just don't want you robbing us. I don't have anything against DeSantis. He's not a racist. Okay, first off, the bill everybody's screaming he's a racist and a homophobe about, let me tell you what the actual bill is about. So the liberals were putting this trash into and talking about sex and all this other stuff in elementary schools. DeSantis made it. He took it out of elementary schools and put it in the middle schools. He said it has no place with our kids, but for our junior kids and up, it's fine. That's all he did. So I got into it with one of the NAACP people today because I called into their show, and I'm like, what are you doing? I said, there's a lot of black people. I said, you do realize, dude, or actually it was a woman. I said, you do realize that Florida's only 52% white. And I said, the rest of the state is mixed. And I said, like 38% is black. I said, a lot of these people own businesses. I said, so you're trying to put black people out of business. I said, you're going to start losing funding. And I said, you better think about what you just did. And when I said that, boy, a bunch of blacks called into the show. He's right. You're hurting our business. What the hell do you think you're going to? There's nothing wrong with Florida. He said, Florida not racist. I've been living in Florida all my life. There's no racist people down here. He said, that's you damn Yankees that are racist. And more, I'm hearing how people in New York and Chicago and Illinois and other places up there are really, Baltimore and even D.C., the blacks and the whites are becoming really racist against blacks. Matter of fact, a couple of friends of mine who are both lawyers living in Chicago, they came home because they say it's too dangerous. And they live in an upscale neighborhood. So they say it's too dangerous to be black and live in Chicago. And Chicago's got at least a half black population.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like some friends of mine went up north just recently, traveling, mixed couple. And I told them, be careful up north. It's not like the South. Down here, people just ignore mixed couples now. It's just an everyday thing. And up north, apparently it's not. They were actually asked to leave 3 different restaurants. One in New York, one in New Jersey, and one in Michigan. I was like, what? Then they said when they went to Salem, people were staring at them strangely. Like y'all shouldn't be together. Hey, look, people. So it's how it started. There was slavery in the South. Then there was racism in the South. And then Jim Crow came. Everybody said, oh, that's the South. No, that was the Democrats. In case y'all didn't know, Democrats are the ones who created Jim Crow. Yes, they did. They're also the ones who created the Ku Klux Klan. And they were against Lincoln for fleeing the slaves. But somehow or another, that's the side y'all pick. I still don't understand that, Libbies. All my black Libby friends out there, I don't understand that. So Lincoln was a Republican.
Yep.
He freed you.
And the other thing that people may not realize about Lincoln is that he had a couple of ideas what to do after the freedom of the blacks. A couple of things he was planning on doing was either he was going to scoop them all up and drop them on Cuba.
Yeah, I heard that.
Find someplace out west near with the Indians and give them their own reservation area. And
I heard that too.
So had he not been killed, there may have not been any black people left in this country. So it's a touchy situation, touchy subject, but that's the reality of it. We don't know what would have happened had he not been shot.
No, that's true too, because it wasn't just that. There was a couple of plans to reintegrate them back into Africa,
right,
and places like that. And you got to remember, people back then, everybody when they think about this. Sorry, hold on, wrong button. They think about this huge population, but the black population back then wasn't that big. And it could have easily been dropped off in Cuba, South America, something like that. It wouldn't even took that long to do. But that's not what actually ended up happening. And then the Democrats, in their infinite wisdom, created Jim Crow, which I thought was, come on. And when I you know how many blacks, when I ask them, do you know who the first slave owner is? They don't know. And they always say it's a white person when it wasn't. And then when I ask them, do you know who created Jim Crow? They always say the GOP. And I'm like, no, it was the Democrats. I said, also the same people who created the Ku Klux Klan. I said, so I'm confused why y'all always been on their side. I said, yeah, Kennedy gave a great speech, but Kennedy was a racist. So I'm kind of like, what were y'all thinking? And I'm still, even today, I'm like, what are you thinking? Because I ask my black friends all the time. I said, you tell me what the Democrats have done for you at all in the last 20 years. I said, the only person I've seen even help y'all out was Trump. I said, bringing your unemployment rate to the lowest it's ever been in the history of the nation. I say also for Hispanics and great wealth and great increase in money. I said, I've never seen the GOP. And since he's gone, I see the Democrats put you right back and pigeonhole you. What I have noticed, though, is a lot more blacks talking about how the Democrats don't earn their vote anymore. Why we vote for them, we don't know, because they don't earn their vote. And I've heard a lot more black, especially black men on TikTok, tearing up racist black people, saying stop blaming white people. It's not their fault where you are today. And I've said this in many lectures I've given, which gets me in trouble. But today's world is not about racism. It's about classism. So it's, in today's world, especially in this country and in Europe, it's not about what color it is. It's about what you have. So, there are wealthy black people, and there's billionaires and there's millionaires, and there's lots of them in the country now. And since blacks only make up 14% of the population, it's kind of gotten, I think it's like 5% of them now are over millionaires. That's high. In the U.S., for the white population, it's actually much lower than that. Comparatively speaking. So you've got to kind of wonder, what's going on there and how this is working and how we've gotten to this point. So today it's not really about, you can try to blame somebody and say it's racist, but it's not. Mm-hmm. Today it's what you have and what you don't have. It's about the wealthy and the poor.
It's how much you make, yeah.
Yeah, it's not, and it doesn't matter if you're black or white or Hispanic. It's about, are you rich or are you poor? Rich black people get treated the same way as rich white people do or rich Hispanic people do. I say, if you're rich, you're rich. If you're poor, you're poor. And that's where you are in society today. And stop trying to blame your problems on somebody else. These are your problems. You don't have to live in a ghetto. I know that for a fact because I live in New Orleans. And no one here lives in a ghetto anymore. They've done away with them. So it proves you don't have to. It's a choice. And since, today everybody's making at least $15 or more, you don't have to. You can go live in the suburbs, get a roommate, get married, but you don't have to do the bullshit anymore. Well, Harold, I understand that. I understand the rate of fathers leaving black families is disproportionate. But that has a lot to do with upbringing, and that can be changed. Actually, it's being changed. In New Orleans, it's already changed somewhat.
But quite frankly, though, if you look at any of the deadbeat fathers, the bulk of them are white.
Yeah. Well, people don't realize that. So somebody the other day, this white guy's going on and on about black people and welfare. And I'm listening to him. So I call into the show. He's like, oh, you see what I'm telling you? I said, okay, dude. I said, stop. You're making yourself sound stupid. He said, what do you mean? I said, yes, there are a lot of black people on welfare. I said, probably about 3 or 4%. I said, but you have to remember the majority of people on welfare are white, and it's like 21%.
Yeah.
He's
the
like,
majority of people who are abusing that system, also white.
Yeah. I said, don't fool yourself because you're in a black city and that's all you see. I said, but don't ever let it fool you that the majority of people on welfare are white. They're not black. Mm-hmm. And, there's a lot of benefits now being sent to blacks. I mean, there's a lot of incentives because you're black, which is actually racist, but
Yeah.
Well,
NAACP, there's what's the Black College Fund that you can't.
But then
you've
got black. You got the black television networks. They've got the Black Information Network. This is all considered racist because Hispanics don't have this. People tell me all the time, no, the Hispanics have one TV channel that speaks Spanish. So this isn't about a color. This is about a language. It's about a society. It's not about a color. So when we're talking about blacks, it's about being black. When we talk about Hispanics, it's about being, because Hispanics is a bunch of different countries. And it's really more about the language than it is anything else, but it's not the same issue. And they're not going around going, oh, well, we have Hispanic this, Hispanic that, Hispanic that. They don't. Even though they're the larger population than the blacks, they don't do that because Americans won't take that. They consider that racism. So eventually, and what's going to happen in 20 years, sooner or later, it's going to have to stop because it's going to become a form of reverse discrimination.
It is. I mean, if you look at Telemundo, they produce television programs that are specifically to the Latin communities, but they also sometimes show white American Hollywood movies, albeit with dubbed over Spanish dialogue, to their audiences. You look at BET, Black Entertainment Television, it is all black entertainment, all black actors, all black stories. I don't think they've ever shown any white Hollywood movies for those audiences, and that exclusivity makes it racist.
It does. And sooner or later, that's going to have to change, and they're not going to want to give it up because right now, so if you're white, Hispanic, or even Chinese, and you own a business, by law, you're supposed to hire a black person. I'm not kidding you. You can actually get in trouble if you don't have at least one black person working for you. But
affirmative action.
So we went through 100 black businesses and asked, do you have any white people? Not one of the 100 black businesses had a white person working for them. 3 of them had Hispanics, 4 of them had Chinese people, and that was it. So out of 100 businesses, 7 of them had some kind of other people working there. The rest were all black businesses. There was no white people whatsoever. So if that was white businesses, that would be a lawsuit.
They would be obligated by affirmative action to put someone in a position by color, not by skill or ability to do the job.
Well, think about it, people. So the vice president was hired because she was black, and this was said more than one time. And what kills me is, okay, you want to hire somebody because they're black, that's racism. But my thing of it is couldn't you have found somebody better than her? Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of smart black women out there and way smarter than she is. So I'm kind of figuring, we kind of screwed up there. And then, of course, the spokesperson, she got hired because she's black and gay. And they said that. So this is illegal. Hiring someone based on skin color or sexual orientation is illegal in this country.
Yep.
But for some reason, we let the president get away with it.
And wasn't there a judge he wanted to put on the bench because of her color or race?
Yeah. And
see that you got to do it by qualifications.
Yeah. And so there's much better qualified people than we're talking about here. And then when you exclude any other race, you're being racist. So I don't know, but sooner or later this is going to have to change because sooner or later white people will breach 49%. And when they do, they are eligible for affirmative action. So are you going to give 49% of the population affirmative action? You're already going to be given 51% because it's going to be Hispanics, blacks, and Orientals and stuff like that. So you're not going to be able. So that means the 100% of the population is going to get affirmative action. So what's going to happen is when whites make 49%, they're going to have to do away with affirmative action. And that's going to make for lawsuits like you've never seen in this country. BETV, Information Network, all of these black businesses, they'll be getting sued out of the yin-yang because they won't. The only reason they're not being sued right now is they're protected under affirmative action, which is just a form of reverse discrimination against everybody else. Yeah. Well, think of it like this. Blacks make up 13% of the population. Have you ever watched TV? CNN, Fox, ABC, CBS, you'll see a lot of blacks on there. But you don't see much in Hispanics news people. There's not many of them.
Only one, Geraldo Rivera.
And you don't really see many of them in the movies, in regular movies. So where we've gone out of our way to be inclusive to blacks, we've gone out of our way to be exclusive to Hispanics.
And whites.
And so this is something that's going to have to change in our country. I don't make the rules, people. But, things are going to have to change. It can't stay on this way because it's going to cause a cataclysm. Oh, yeah, big nasty one, too. No, I got lots of black friends. Oh, yeah. What do you mean do I have? So I've got black friends, black employees, black subcontractors, black radio show hosts. Yeah, nobody's going to ever be able to call me racist. Sorry, it's not going to work. And I've gone to BLM rallies and stood up for people. I've stood up for a lot of people over the years. So you're not going to be able to say I'm racist, no. But I'm not scared to speak the truth either, because there are a lot of blacks out there that are very hardcore racist against whites, and not for any real legitimate reasons. Well, I'm not saying some of them haven't been, but I've been discriminated against by blacks. Oh, yeah, more than one occasion. Living in a city in New Orleans, which has had a black mayor for the last 50 years, And so when you walk into down in the city hall, there's not a white person to be seen anywhere. Oh no! And if you're white and you're in there, you're gonna be sitting last. I got it. As a matter of fact, I got a girl fired just 2 years ago because she kept taking other people because the three of us were white and everybody else was black. So finally, I said, I want to see your supervisor. Oh no! I said, I want to see your supervisor. I want to see him now. I'm gonna call the freaking police. And when the supervisor came out, she was black. She started telling me some shit. I said, I want to see your boss. Oh no! I said, I want to see your boss, or I'm gonna call the news media and the police right now. And her boss came out, which was white, by the way, and fired both of them because they were being racist. They weren't willing to, do a normal line of, we got the number, they were just skipping you. It happened at the DMV with some people too. They sued over it. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's why.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not saying that white people ain't racist. Well, there's white racists out there. Don't even think there's not. Yeah. There is. So I tell people all the time, if you're coming down to the Gulf South, whether you're white, black, Hispanic, doesn't really matter. If you're in most of the middle of Louisiana down, nobody's going to bother you. From Hattiesburg down, nobody's going to bother you. Now, by saying that, if you get up in the middle or above in Mississippi or Louisiana, be careful. It doesn't really matter so much what color you is. It matters that you don't belong there. So just recently, I'm in a town in northern Mississippi, and this guy, what you doing in my town, boy? And I looked up at him like, did you just call me boy? I'm going to be your fucking daddy. And he's like, well, what you doing in my town, boy? I said, I wanted to say your wife, but I said, Joe, be nice, because my wife was looking at me going, be nice. And I said, I was just passing through, actually. He said, you ain't got no marijuana up in that car. I said, no, I don't. He said, well, can I search it? I said, go get a warrant. You can search it. It was a roadblock is what it was. And I was like, I said, and you wonder why nobody wants to come to this state because of people like you. We need to do these robots. I said, no, you don't need to do this. You don't need to be rude. You said you've been rude to me the whole time, and I'm from your damn state. No, you not. I said, you see my license back there, what it says Mississippi on it. And he was like, but you got to be careful because they'll throw your ass in jail around here. They're like, pfft. You go. By the way, people, there is medical marijuana in Mississippi. But if you got a joint and you're not from here and you don't have a thing, you're going to jail. Yes, for one joint, they will seize your car and put you in jail. And then it costs you $200 to get out.
And you won't get your car back.
You got to go pay to get your car back, which is probably another $300 or $400. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a scam. I'm just warning y'all in case you come down. But there needs to be a settling and of a change. We need to stop. See, the media and the politics keep us at war with each other over race, but it's not a race war anymore. It's a class war. For everybody who out there is fighting a race war, you're losing because you just know there's no class. It's a class war. They don't give a shit what color you are anymore. They just give a shit what you have and what you can contribute or you can't contribute. And that's where we are. So we need to remember that as a society and get off and whining about race and get back to winning. Well, Claire, what time? We still got a few minutes. So, yes, I heard California say $80 billion and up to $1 million per person who was enslaved. Kind of weird because California didn't even have slavery, but I'm like, okay.
Yeah, California wasn't a state until way after.
So now the U.S. government is saying, or one of the black senators is saying that every black person should get $450,000. Okay, that's fine. But you know what? You weren't the only slaves. So what about the Indians? Let's before we talk about black people, and I'm not trying to hate on you black people because I got a lot of black friends, and they'll tell you this themselves. What about Native Americans?
It shows me we really screwed those people over.
So for people who whine about being slaves, you ain't got nothing on the Native Americans. And let's be honest, they're still being treated far worse than any black person, Hispanic, or white person alive today. Let's not even lie about it. So you're all caught up in your own, and there's still someone in our country today being treated like you were 200 years ago, but you're okay. Well, you're fine with that as long as you get your money. So what the hell does that make you? Yes. And let's not forget about the Chinese that built the railroads. And let's not forget about the Irish who brought over and dug the canals. Yeah, people. Oh, no. They were indentured servants, was just slaves. No, don't try to bullshit that.
Is the same as a slave, except that they actually got some money.
Yes, and if they got enough, they could buy themselves out, but usually that was never going to happen.
Yeah, they
So,
usually got
don't,
enough, they got enough to buy food and clothing, and that's it. And maybe board, a place to live.
And Sarisa, and to be help you out, white people were enslaved much longer than black people were, because people forget whites were slaves to the Greeks and the Romans, almost 2,000 years of slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so y'all black people, y'all never been a slave. You don't say, oh yeah, well for 2,000 years we were. I said, you don't want to talk about that, do you? Oh no, you just want to talk about the 100 years y'all were slaves and the last 75 years of getting out of it. Well, white people still dealing with it. And and what I said, and I got in trouble for this at an election, I said, look, why don't we do like the Jews did? So the Jews were enslaved to the Germans, but the German people didn't enslave them. So why should the German people have to pay? But who was it? Porsche did it. Volkswagen did it, and some other companies did. So they went after those companies, and those companies paid restitution the way it should have been. So in the United States, if you're going to go after somebody, then you're going to have to go after the plantations. And I couldn't tell you how many of those still exist anymore, or how many of those families still have money anymore. And let's not forget, this lady got mad at me the other day because I said 40 acres and a mule. She said, well, nobody took advantage of it. I said, my ass. A bunch of people took advantage of that. And I said, let's not even try to act like that didn't happen, because a bunch of people did. So what I'm saying is, if your ancestor took the 40 acres and a mule, you did not qualify for anything today.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to go through all of those records. Yeah, we'll have to go through all those records to see. And that's just going to be a big deal. But it's not even that. To be honest with you, I could really give a shit less. But you can't give 13% of the population $500,000 to $1 million each and not give anything to anybody else. One, that makes an unfair playing field right off the bat. You just put a whole new section of money out there in a whole different field. So that's not going to go over well with anybody in the country. Plus, I'm not going to pay taxes. I never owned a slave. Nobody in my family ever owned a slave. And you know what? 98% of Americans never owned a slave. So why you want us to pay restitution?
It's
all you're going to do is make enemies.
My both sides of my family weren't even in this country until way after slavery was abolished. Number one. Number two, I work in retail, and if I walk up to you and you're white and I offer you to join our credit card and get extra 5% off your purchase that day, and you accept, great. And then another person comes by who's black, and I don't offer that to them, but they heard me offer it to the white person. Guess what? I'm a racist. You can't offer one thing to one group only and exclude everybody else who's also been through the same exact harshness.
Yeah, but I'm not even
though it was
willing.
2,000 years ago. I don't remember it, and I don't care. I'm not
willing to entertain any type of reparations for anybody until the Native Americans are made right. I mean, till we give them real schools, till we give them real food, till we give them real attention, not this bullshit that they got today. I mean, in the end, we think of this to everybody out there who wants restitution. Do you know how many Native Americans we killed just with chickenpox? Not even out there just killing them, just with chickenpox. How many we killed? We killed 8 million.
Hundreds of thousands.
It's the amount of people that died because of the white man and the black man, by the way, because y'all were out here too, is ridiculous. And you know what? In case y'all didn't notice, black people own slaves in the United States. Oh, yes. And if you were a black man and you could work your way up, you could get your freedom and buy a slave. And the first person to ever own a slave, that's exactly how he did it. He came here as an indentured servant, worked his way through, and then bought a slave. Oh, I wasn't there, so I'm not going to ever argue with who was exactly the first person. They just give him credit for it because he's a black man. They want to give him credit for it. His name, you can find it. It's just type in first person to own a slave and see what it comes up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I could pop it up right quick. Oh, y'all going to drive me crazy, aren't you? Wait, hold on. What's this? House GOP attempts to undo Biden's socialist mortgage rules. I'm not getting in there. Ukraine claims they have destroyed a large Russian warship. Oh, man, they sunk a big one? Holy moly. Damn. I mean, if I was Russia, I'd just be embarrassed at this point.
It's time to pull back. Release the territories you've taken control of. Tuck your tail between your legs and go home. They're not going to win this thing.
No, they're not. So If y'all look this up, and this is Wikia, the first man to own a slave was Anthony Johnson. He was black. He was a black tobacco farmer named Anthony Johnson. So this is not just because the other day I was listening to these black people on his radio show saying, that's not true. That's not true. I said, just look it up for yourself. I said, you're going to sit here and argue with me without looking up. I said, I pulled it right up. I just typed it right up. That's what it came up to be. I said, Wikipedia's the first thing that came up. I said, you're going to have to convince Wiki that's a lie. They done verified it and checked it and everything. And he's like, well, and I said, look, don't argue with me. You want restitution, but you're going to have to get some of the blacks to pay for it too, because they owned, I forgot what it was in the end, but they owned about 3 or 4% of the slaves in the United States. Yes, your own people. The people who were slaves were just, no, I mean, come on. It's just sad. But anyway, getting back to what we were talking about. So for me, anybody who wants restitution, the first thing we talk about is Native Americans. I don't give a fucking what color you are. We need to talk about Native Americans first. And then we need to talk about where you are in life and do you really deserve reparations. So if you're making $200,000, $300,000, you don't need reparations. That's bullshit. That's free money to somebody now. People out there that might actually deserve it, that might be different. But let's be honest. How many ghetto people can you give $500,000 to and not expect to waste it or spend it or end up dead from an OD? So, money is not always the solving
Doesn't always
problem.
help. I mean, there are people who win the lottery for millions of dollars, and within years they're destitute again.
Not just them. You've got Hollywood people, musicians that end up dead. Or, I mean, come on, look at Michael Jackson. Look at Prince. What's her name? I mean, you've got people, and look, I mean, there's several of them, and these were not just And what was her name? The girl who died and her daughter died. I mean, you've got a lot of people here that got a lot of money and then ended up dead. Look at Elvis. I mean, so the point being is you can't just hand out that kind of money and expect people not to screw it up.
Yeah.
And so, we got to figure out how to do it. But first, before we talk about it, and I'm going to start pushing this hard, and the Native Americans need to start pushing this hard, and they need to embarrass these senators, especially these black senators are up there. They need to go up there and say, what about us? We need to be taken care of first. Not second, not after anybody else, but first. We were here first. We were destroyed first. We need to be taken care of first. Anybody who doesn't think that is truly a racist. So whatever color you are, if you think that black should be done before Native Americans, you're a racist. I mean, Native Americans, even today, they're still living in freaking teepees, people.
Yeah. They're relegated to small reservations, mostly in desert, desolate areas where you can't really grow anything. And the types of attacks we put upon them. I mean, giving a virus-laden chickenpox blanket to a child to kill it is completely sinister.
Yeah, it is. There is no other way to look at that but sinister. And Carmen, I know you're going to write to me, but as far as experiments go, yes, blacks were experimented on too, but so were whites. Unfortunately, so in case y'all didn't know this, and I'm going to give y'all something on an eyeball, because people always talk about how this race and that race was experimented on. So when we were blowing up the nuclear bombs, everyone sitting in front of that bomb was white. There was no other color but white. There's nobody else there. Everyone was white. And I know people don't want to talk about it, but everybody there who died was white. And you know what? I still don't see any reparations to them families.
There was also a test up here in Aberdeen in the 50s, 60s with LSD and Army combat troops. And I don't think any one of them was black.
The ones in Vietnam, the ones that were given in they were all just white groups. So I mean, there's a lot that's going on in our country. So let's look at this a different way. If we were to give reparations to everyone in this nation who deserves it, we would be bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
We'd be a bankrupt nation. So and just to give it to blacks alone, because not all. Glenda, I agree. Not all 13% of the blacks are from or slaves. I mean, about a third of them come from other countries. It's going to be hard to prove ancestry too. It's not going to be as easy as y'all think.
Yeah, I mean, you think the welfare system is being abused by both blacks and whites more whites than blacks. Think about reparations. Think about how many people are going to cheat that system to get that money.
Yes.
A lot. I mean, come
People
on.
already think I'm black anyway. I want my money. It's in all fairness, guys. I don't know how it's going to work out. I don't think anybody should be shit on. But I got to be honest. At the point I'm at right now, I'm not anti reparations for black, but until Native Americans have been talked about and taken care of, I don't want to talk about anybody else. And then when we do talk about black reparations, we need to talk about Chinese reparations, and we need to talk about Irish reparations because they were just treated just as poorly. So. Mm-hmm. Well, because nobody wants to talk about that. People want to skip it. They want to, oh, no, it's just this. And you watch AOC and Omar and these two black ladies who put this bill forward, you watch and see how angry they get when this gets brought up. Well, we always tend to be usually two to 3 months ahead on this show of what's going to happen. Yeah, so we'll discuss it here. And then someone a couple of weeks down, they'll either have heard this show or somebody will pick it up on another show and talk about it. And then it gets picked up in mainstream. Yeah, we've seen it happen a dozen times, but because we have to be fair to everyone. We can't just point out one group. Well, we're going to give you money. Well, why? If they're doing good and they're healthy and their population's good, then why are we giving them money? Yeah, I agree, Tony. If right now, so let's just say it's 14%, and we'll say 4% of them are from outside the U.S. Okay, so they don't qualify. So then it's down to 10%. And out of that 10%, 5% of them are probably living well. So that only really leaves 5% that may qualify. And then that 5% is still going to have to prove their family ancestry. Well, the slave owners weren't the best for keeping them. They kept pretty decent records, but not totally great records. Yeah, so I don't know. But that's how it would have to be thought about. We can't just give 14% of the population $1 million each. That's a lot of money. Oh, yeah. Well, every 10 people is what? 10 million? Every 100 people is 100 million? Every 1,000 people is 1 billion? And I think there's 44 million blacks in the United States. You do the math. Yeah, we're talking hundreds of billions of dollars, at least $100+ billion easy. Probably more like 300 billion. It'll be as much as
in the level of the black ops programs, trillions of dollars to
it's just, and then you risk isolating a bunch of the other country, which may get pissed off. It's just a dangerous thing, and we're talking about. So if we're going to pay back for every slight that's happened to everybody in this country over the last 300 years, we're bankrupt. Because we've done a lot of shit to a lot of people. And if we're going to start paying reparations to all of these, what about all the people we did overseas and stuff? I mean, I don't know, people. Sometimes you got to move on. You got to forgive and forget and move on. What do you mean? Oh, you mean if they were offering me money, I'd still be saying that. Yes. And I could use the extra money right now, and I'd still be saying that. That's just me personally. But we're getting ready to get out of here. What you got, Jimmy? No, because we don't have to be a racist country anymore. We said this 100 times tonight. I'll say it again. It's not a race war; it's a class war. And if you're fighting a race war, you've already lost. That's why I love watching, especially liberals, because it's all they ever talk about anymore is race and transvestites, and they've already lost the war because it's not about color anymore. It's about money.
It's all about money and corporates.
Yeah, because there's no walk of life that a black person isn't in, whether it's a CEO, a movie star, a rock star, or rapper, any kind of companies, entrepreneurs. It's everywhere. It's not like it was even 20 years ago. In the last 40 years, there have been significant changes in our country. Yes, and so now we're going to start going back and just giving everybody free money. I just don't see why that's a good idea.
And think about this. 20, 30, 40 years ago, what were we talking about? Skinheads, KKK, et cetera, et cetera. Today, what are we talking about? BLM.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. BLM is a racist organization. The Black Panthers is a racist organization. I've met many Black Panthers over there. They're extremely racist. Matter of fact, I went to work at BLM in New Orleans, which I brought my gun with me, by the way. And it was so funny. A couple of blacks started giving me a bunch of shit. And then the guy running right said, no, he's a friend of mine. He's working press. So it tells you just because I was white and standing there, they were being rude. As a matter of fact, it was going to get violent. And then he came out and said, no, he's working press. And then they all were my best friend. And I told the one guy, I said, you are so lucky Bruce came out here. He's like, what do you mean? As I put my finger over the back, I said, you wouldn't have made it. And I said, you need to think about what was going to go down. I said, you need to think you're in the deep South and everyone carries a gun down here. Doesn't matter what color they are, they carry a gun. So you need to be careful. And then like we went up to the Hattiesburg one. So we were invited to the BLM in Hattiesburg to come work the press. We got there. Do you know there was not one black person there? Not one. About 300 white people, 300 rednecks. And so I called Bruce, said, what's up? He said, I'm not going out there. He said, you seen all them rednecks, Joe? He said, I'm thinking they wanted to lynch us. It happened in Hattiesburg and in Jackson. They didn't want to show up at the rally. Which I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I mean, it's a dangerous state sometimes. Carly, we love you, and thank you for hanging out with us tonight. John, we love you too. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. You know what? If you want to leave, you can always post your comments on my messenger or to iCar if you have particular comments you want to talk about on tonight's show, at the last hour tonight's show. I don't judge anybody by color. No.
Judge them by their actions only.
Yeah, and I've always had the same rule. I judge you by your actions only. You're either an asshole or you're not. And that's how I've always judged. So,
and you notice, though, that people who are an asshole, your distance to them is directly proportional to how much of an asshole they are. It's a George Carlin joke, but you know.
I know. No, I know what you mean. Don't make me have to play that I-95 song tonight, people. Were you born an asshole? Were you always an asshole? Was your mom an asshole? Was your wife an asshole? That song goes on and on about assholes.
Did you have to go to school to become an asshole?
Jared, no, I just think that we need to be fair. Anytime we talk about giving lots of money out to lots of people, it needs to be fair. You know, you don't give money to rich people. Like we learned with COVID, you don't go around giving money to people that already got money. You just don't. Mm-hmm. And then that's stupid.
Like a few weeks ago, they were talking about giving people money for their student loans, and the people have already paid off their loans. Where's their reparations? You know, it's not fair to do stuff.
And see that's really the problem with student loans is okay. So only this generation is going to get paid off. Well, you know what? I want my money back. I really do. I want my money back. If we're going to give back student loans, I want my money back. And I imagine a lot of people want their money back, you know, or at least part of their money. I mean, it's ridiculous. So why does this particular generation, which we're talking about the Z Gen, is now because most of the X Geners are out of school.
Yeah. And how many people previously who paid off their college debt, if they could, are still ruined and still haven't been able to, you know, make it.
Yeah. So that was one of the big questions. Were you going to allow the X generation to apply for disaster assistance or help to pay off the loan, or give them back the loan they paid? Well, college isn't cheap. It depends where you're going to school, but a cheap semester is probably these days around $2,500. And that's probably for a school.
That's a full load too, by the way. Yeah.
So you're looking at about $10,000 a year. But it depends. You might be looking at $5,000 a year. It depends on how you're going to school. A good college, oh no, like Tulane, let's say Tulane,
$50,000 a year.
Oh yeah, easy $50,000 a year. And if Harvard. If you take Harvard, you're probably closer to $100,000 a year. These are all Ivy League schools, but even a school like LSU, you're probably looking at $15,000 or $20,000.
Or a private school like mine, it's a nonprofit. Savannah College of Art and Design was not cheap. I mean, it was like in the 90s, $5,000 a semester. Well, a quarter, then 3 quarters a year. You're talking $15,000 per 3 semesters. It's 3 quarters.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know how that's going to work out, but how do you do that? So sometimes you just have to stop and say it's a bad idea. Well, as far as I know, the courts aren't letting Joe Biden give the money. The court said it was unconstitutional. Mm-hmm. Either give it to everybody or give it to nobody. So that's what that sounds like. they were saying, give them loan assistance and help them pay their loans, get the IRS or whoever to help them with loan assistance. But other than that, no. I don't know. I'll tell you this. They got a couple of companies been constantly trying to give my company $26,000 per employee. They're calling me every day. Well, if I did it on a radio station, that would be 50 hosts. You do the math, man. I'd be sitting pretty. No, we don't pay our hosts. I'd be in trouble is what that would be. In the daytime company, we only keep 3 staffed. Everybody else is subcontractors. I don't think I can write the subs off. I'd like to. That would give me 10 or 15 a year. That would be like $260,000 for 3 years. Oh, yeah, I'd be all pretty and happy. Oh, yeah. But I don't want to cheat the government because I don't have to deal with the government. No. We got to go, though. Everybody, thanks for all the questions. I see quite a few. I'm still scrolling by on my messenger. Don't forget, guys, you can always use YouTube or LinkedIn or any of the any of the other ones. Yeah, I'm glad for you, the people on Roku now. At least y'all are using my messenger. Well, I see a lot of the Pal Talk people in my messengers too. So, but there's nothing on Roku. There's no chat on Roku. Sorry, guys. You got to use the messenger. But there is on both of our YouTube pages, our LinkedIn pages, and all 4 of our Facebook pages. You can get in that way. Yes, you can. You most certainly can. Janine, we got to go. What was the question? Oh, Jay has a harem. Yeah, he got wife. He got like wife number 1 and wife number 2. I think he's got like 7 of them now. Well, I tell you what, Clarissa, is that how you say your name? I tell you what, he's on Facebook. Yep. You see his name right there, Jay McNichols. Look him up on Facebook and write to him. I don't know, but write to him and say hi. I don't even know what you look like. How would I know what he likes? All I can do is write to him and say hi. Don't be chicken. Write to him and say hi.
The worst I'll say back is hello.
Or goddamn, you're scary. Don't write to me no more.
No, that's what I only say that to you, Joe.
I know. I'm always abused. But anyway, guys and girls, I want to thank everyone for hanging out with News on the Flip Side. Remember, we are looking for guest hosts. So we're looking for another female host and maybe another male host. We'll see. Jay and I do pretty good, but we're looking for at least 2 other hosts for this show because the show's 3 hours and we talk about a lot of different topics.
We got this new co-host. He's a boy.
Oh, yes. Look at that co-host. I can't even see the damn eyes on that thing.
He's black. He's got little green eyes. He's sleepy. He was asleep. I just picked him up. He's tuckered out from running around and chewing my toes.
I'd have to show and get my phone with me. We were working at a customer's house. And she got a big old cat. I mean, he's a big old fat cat. Reminds me of my dog was a fat cat. Yes, Jack. You're looking for... Oh, no, it's not up yet. You're looking for Church of Mavis. You can get it on YouTube, but it's not up on the regular archive site yet.
You can see some of the archives of Church of Mavis on Roku, and we are live on Roku every Friday, 8 to 10.
Yes, I got to put this one up and last week's up for the Rokus. But you can always find them on YouTube. That YouTube is first published because that's where it just publishes to. And then later on, I publish them to all of our audio streams. So, yeah, you can check it. I mean, on YouTube, you can see Jay's lovely face. Or Carol's lovely face, whoever happens to be there. Sorry, Carol is Wham. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm the only one Carol calls her Carol. Nobody calls her Carol.
Yeah, she's also secretly Captain Marvel, so be careful.
She is.
Yeah.
She's Wham, Wham, Wham. Don't mess with Wham. No, Wham's a lot of fun, though. But Jay and Wham shifted out. They take turns.
Yeah, every 3 Fridays is Wham, then me, then Wham. So we flip-flop.
Yeah, so what do you mean? I don't know. No, you'd have to ask Wham then. What are y'all on Viagra tonight or something? What the hell's going on in this chat? It's Friday night. That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah,
a couple of drinks, having a little time, messing with Joe at his expense. But we're going to go. I thank everyone again for hanging out and listening to us for 3 right at 3 hours tonight. Where is it at? 3 hours and 4 minutes. There we are.
3 hours and 4, 1:22 a.m.
So it's the wee hours for Jay, and he's got to go see his harem. You know, they don't like when I keep him up too late. They get nasty. They're like, Joe. All of a sudden, you'll see like 7 naked women walk behind him. Like, Jay, are you coming? Of course, he's leaving. Then, Peeve, let me. You don't care about my ugliness. I'm out of here, bud. And he hits the door. What do you mean, Emily? Emily? Oh, you mean from earlier? Emily is John's wife. The guy that was sitting next to her, that's her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you mean they don't look like they're married?
Oh, they're married.
Yeah, they big time married. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. So you got a crush on Emily and you're a female. That's what you're telling me, right? Feel free to write to her. Emily Goodwin. That's not her name on Facebook, but look her up. Emily Goodwin. You can catch her on one of the pages. Hey, I say make an offer. All she can say is no.
Yeah, that's the worst she could say.
Or, oh my God, you're ugly. I want this ugly kid. Again, guys and girls, thanks again for hanging out and joining us on News on the Flip Side on United Public Radio. Remember, you can get a full list of archives. They'll be available. This show and Church of Mavis won't be available until the morning, but you will be able to catch both of them then. And or if you have to listen to us before then, you can find us on YouTube. We're automatically on YouTube. So again, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio News on the Flip Side, and have a good evening, everyone. Good night, and watch for our third co-host. Dun, 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 dun.